Hi. Don't worry, I did remember how to stream. I remembered how to talk to people. I remember how to talk to y'all. I remember how to talk to chat. I didn't mean to abandon you for 4 days. It wasn't my intention. Just happened, alas. You see, I was with the weebs. And they do take up a lot of my energy. And so even when the days that I would come home not too late, I would be like, I kind of want to stare at a wall for an hour and not speak. So, hi. Look, Pack, it was a lot. And I'm real sick of people being like, it's like this every year. Why is everyone bitching and moaning? Because it's bad every year. Also, Jesus fuck, I go to conventions as part of my job, and this was a fuckload. There were multiple times I was in the artist alley, and I would take 2 steps and be like, oh, if I don't leave right now, I'm gonna start screaming. Like, I'm gonna start freaking out, okay? Also, hi, I made my, I added turkey this time. So I got, I had cabbage, so I made my butter miso cabbage pasta thing. Because you can basically caramelize cabbage the way you'd caramelize an onion, but it has way more fiber. So I did half of a cabbage this time. Probably could have done more of the cabbage, frankly, but alas. And then I added turkey because I wanted protein. When events are so packed, your inner fire marshal just starts tweaking. Yeah. I feel like every born and raised Southern Californian just has like an inner fire marshal like fursona that's just ready to come out. Yeah, the race today, I watched it, so I didn't stream. Basically, I was just tired, guys, and I was like, you know what, let me just enjoy the race from my couch, and I think that's like the best way for me to do it. Little did I know I would not be enjoying the race from my couch or up here. I just don't know what was happening. I should have suspected it because during qualifying, they were all having issues staying on the track. And then it was just like little things here and there. The slow puncture, I didn't understand what was happening there. There were just a lot of things. And then I like got up at one point, I came back and suddenly we're on lap 48 and Max isn't like going into the gravel. And like I wanted to make a video because I thought this was funny. I kind of have a new idea for an illegal mod for these cars. I don't know if it's illegal. I think it's illegal because of the floor plate, because they have the spark plate on the bottom, the spark board. So I think it would be illegal. Hermes, hi. But I'm thinking, ignore him. I'm thinking if you add like to the bottom of these cars an emergency button, that when a driver is going into the gravel, they hit it, and it uses the G-force of going off track in the gravel, and because what it does is it deploys like a stake, like a iron stake that's like wired to the body of the car. Shut the fuck up. We're talking. I'm talking about crime. I love you. It like deploys down, like it like dives down into the gravel, and then the force of the G-force gives it the ability to slingshot back into track, okay? And then the driver can quickly retract it and then go on their merry way before they're too deep in the gravel. Now, obviously, this would take some fancy fingering, but I do feel like most of these guys could pull it off. So that's my recommendation for any team if they want to do something illegal and new. I think that'd be fun. I think you could only do it for maybe one race before the marshals are like, what the fuck? The FIA is like, excuse you, the fuck is that? No. Yeah, like I feel like, yeah, Batmobile gadget is the perfect way to explain it, you know? But yes, hi, hold on. Where's the... Oh, we also have a new craft we have to do at some point. Ultimate Foe, you won the Swell Grand Prix. Thank you for subscribing. W, 8 months. Critical Anadel, thank you. You won the Swell Grand Prix with the Prime Boost. Okay. So for the Lego race this morning, which I did not wake up for, they did like the Lego go-karts, which Lewis brought up a good point. Kitty Cax, you won the Swell Grand Prix. Thank you for subscribing. Brought up a good point. He said that it's becoming more and more common for at the FIA for Formula One to request drivers to do these like in weekend sponsorship activations like the Lego race. Lego is a sponsor of Formula One. And Ultimate Foe, you won the Swell Grand Prix. Thank you for gifting us up. Blah, 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 blah. Why are we at hype levels? What are we doing? Okay. Just Control Alt Delete. Oh, gotcha. Control Alt 1 Delete. Gotcha. I understand. I'm tired. But anyways, let me hang on. They had Lego flags, i.e. all the flags they had Lego versions of, and so I do want to try and make the checkered version. Because it's like the really, I figured this is something that I wanted to do with the jacket actually, because basically if you can get like a thick mesh, a thin mesh fabric that has depending on the weave, like rate, you can click Legos into the fabric, and make like a Lego sheet that is movable. And so they did flag versions, which I think would be a fun little stream craft. But Lewis brought up a good point where it's like, hey, we're being asked to do all of these engagements that are promoting the sponsors of Formula One without getting additional money. Okay, thank you for following, Lawler. And a lot of people were like, Formula One drivers get paid a fuckload of money. Who gives a fuck? And it's like, no, you don't understand. It's the principle. I'd be doing the same thing. I don't care if I was a Formula One driver. I'd be like, good point, because what the fuck? Because yes, it's fun. It's a fun thing they get to do. Lewis was obviously irritated the entire time because it wasn't as fun this time because he thought about it further and was like, wait a minute, they're getting us promoting. They're going to use these images of us in these cars for the next 2 years. Like there's a photo on my vision board for the year, my goal board. It literally has the Lego cars of them. He knows that. He knows that they got so much mileage out of the Legos. So many Lego kits got sold because of those Lego cars. And so he's thinking, okay, so that's all, me being in this car just gave them so much promotion and I'm not seeing any of the reciprocity for that, What's he gonna get? A Lego, they're gonna let him keep the car? No, So I think it's a valuable conversation to have, but it's also just the business side of things that a lot of fans don't like thinking about. Especially yes, I'm fully aware these guys are all multimillionaires, okay? It's a reason I give them shit a lot, okay? But also the thing to think about is that this is also a business, and he's every right. They are like independent contractors for Formula One. They are employees of the team, but for Formula One, it's like, MBS doing it also was weird as fuck. I'm sorry, why was he there? Why was he there with them? Why was he doing that? That's weird. That's so weird. I don't care if it was Kim. I don't care if it was his business mentor. I really don't give a fuck who it was. He's not fucking wrong. I don't like also that he drove off into the gravel with them. I was like, what are we doing? Arvid was smart though to be like, Big Dog's in the car, while he was streaming. Brilliant. Yeah. It's one of the reasons Vegas is such a nightmare for the drivers, because all of their American sponsors have activations in Vegas, and so they're doing stuff constantly, Do you see him? Oh yeah, I'm starting a rumor, by the way. The rumor is that George threw such a bitch fit to Toto that Toto switched him and Kimmy's cars. Not because Toto doesn't like Kimmy and doesn't want Kimmy to be world champion, just to get George to shut up. I think that's what I'm starting. That makes more sense to me than whatever the fuck is happening. Someone tried to be like, oh yeah, George had a slow puncture. He had the same issues Kimmy did. No, he did not. It's butter, miso, cabbage, caramelized cabbage pasta. It's a recipe I found on TikTok. Basically, you can caramelize cabbage very similarly to how you would caramelize onions, and it's a great source of fiber. The stare down of your short king. He's back up here. Hi. There's turkey in this, which is why he thinks he's getting it. There's also onions in this, because I did put some onions in it. Yeah, if we didn't have the safety car, I think Kimmy would have retired. I don't know why they boxed Lewis. That was stupid. Ferrari boxing Lewis was stupid. Ending under the safety car was stupid. I thought that was so dumb. I don't know. Things are dumb and silly and weird, and I don't like it. I think they're gonna hope that everyone gives up on Valco, and which is not gonna happen because they definitely don't have anything lined up past Valco right now. They have to do so much work. I think two things are gonna happen. Love and Deep Space is gonna be turbo nuked by the CCP, which I'm sorry, is the funniest outcome. I'm not for censorship. Let me make that clear. However, Chinese fans getting their game nuked because they didn't want to look at a character in a game that they believe to be Western and or gay. I'm sorry, that's funny as fuck. You fucked around and you found out, played stupid games, win stupid prizes, you know, like, so I will find that extremely funny. We're not gonna do this. I'm talking to chat, you know. Do you want the good treats or not? Because I have to put in some hours. Otherwise, like, you get, like, the cheap treats from the Dollar Tree and you don't like those. So. Yeah. What? Did you see my toes? You probably did. God damn it. the toe. You got the foot snipers in chat. I feel like you're all lurking. I don't think it's any of the chatting people. They all look a little gay. That's part of the appeal. All of the characters look a little bit gay. I was convinced some of the Love and Deep Space cosplayers this weekend, chill. I was convinced, I was like, I think I've seen her before. I think some of them are women. I'm dead serious. To get someone that pretty, that's a girl. Also, so the Love and Deep Space thing. I think it's so dumb that the cosplay experience is you can't be a dude. They wouldn't even let anyone wait in line with Anarchy for her. The guys couldn't wait with her for... They wouldn't let them wait for them. They wouldn't let them hang out in line, nothing like that. Nipa, who was the Valco cosplayer that kept going viral on Twitter, which was funny as fuck. I've met Nipa, by the way. Nipa is, if you've seen my video on the cosplay speed dating that I went to with Anarchy for my Kasu, he was the Takashi, I believe. So he does a bunch of cosplay stuff. But he was dressed as Valco and was getting many a viral moment out of it. You know what? As a creator, I respect it. I love the grind. I was like, fucking brilliant. He was gonna dress as Valco regardless. What's with the... Don't look at the corner like there's something over there when there's nothing. That scared the fuck out of me. Don't do that. What's there? Is there a goblin? Is there a gnome? What's happening? He just went to the wall. The fuck? No, don't do that shit. Don't do that in my home. But yeah, Valco, Nipa got asked, they told him to get away from the booth because he was kind of hanging around the Love and Deep Space booth and was apparently causing a line. So they were like, you need to leave. We need to ask you to leave. They didn't remove him from the con, obviously, but they asked him to leave the booth area. Frankly, all the employees for the Love and Deep Space booth, I didn't talk with any of them directly, but all the line control people, y'all were all fucking insane. Especially to be that aggressive with people walking by, getting photos and videos of the crowd and such, or of the characters, or the cutouts, or the setups, to be screaming at people. Wow. And like, no one was being rude to employees. They all understood, like, hey, this is not Infold. This is not people putting on the game. These are just people working. But like, it was very aggressive and weird. And I don't know. So many, the vibes were off this whole AX, but that was very odd to me. Kamiko, don't play with me like that. Look at this shit. Can you pretend like you've been outside before? The vibes are just really weird. They have the Artist Expo, the Artist Alley. And someone tried to tell me, which this does not make sense, okay? So the convention center in LA is under construction, okay? It's part of the reason they took over Figueroa for all the food spots, because they didn't have that middle area of the convention center, okay? Which I do think that was better for food. I still think that we could have doubled the amount of food that was there, but alas. Hey, can you fuck off? I just had like the worst luck with food this weekend too. It was very bad. I was like, whoever decide. I love him so much. He's the reason I get up in the morning. He's the reason I do what I do. Because if anything happens to him, I will be a public health concern. But oh my god, I wish he would just let me eat my fucking food and talk. Thank you. I love you. It's like he hears me pick up the fork. So they have the Artist Alley, okay? Like literally cut it in half. It's smaller. It's all the way in the back. The back rooms, as people were calling it. And I was like, whoever decided to do this is a fucking idiot. And I didn't say I hope they were fired, but I hope it was implied. I hope they get fired. That was dumb. Someone said, because of the construction, they decided, stop. Because of the construction, a bunch of stuff in South Hall had to be moved down there. That makes no fucking sense. South Hall is the big hall, okay? That was mostly the same. Like construction-wise, okay? Maybe a few areas. If anything, what was moved down into the Artist Alley in Cantia Hall was the stuff that used to be in what we used to be called the Entertainment Hall, which was the West Hall. Can you fuck off? Just being rambunctious for no reason. You already shit on the floor. I went to the grocery store for 20 minutes. In that 20 minutes, he thought it would be a great idea to just like poop on my carpet. Like we just got out beforehand. There was no need for this. Like he just decided, he had it locked in the chamber and decided just to do that. 20 minutes. That's it. That's all it took. So, I don't think it makes sense, but it's like everyone was calling it Temu shit. There was a lot of bullshit. It was a lot of companies that are usually down there. So like Kentia Hall, there's usually like a section of it that is like the apparel booths or bigger brand names that like don't fit in Artist Alley but need a bigger booth, but then aren't going to pay like the main floor fees. And I don't know if they just expanded the corporate or what, but one of the main draws of any convention is the Artist Alley. Any convention. So to have theirs, I thought maybe the reason they halved it was they thought that by having less artists, it would make it less people down there. Therefore, there'd be less crowding issues in Kentia Hall. And that's a stupid reason, but I was like, that's the only thing that would reasonably make sense. Like, oh, here's what we'll do. This is easier. We'll make it more exclusive to be an artist. Like, this will be a good idea. when really the amount of people that want to buy from artists does not change just because you lessen the amount of artists. Now all those people are still down there, and there's less people, there's less booths, there's less space accommodated for them. So now they're just here. I also find it extremely dumb that there is no Hermes. I also find it extremely dumb that there is no booth to get the wristbands for the 18 and up area anywhere near Kentia. I think that's fucking stupid. To go, I have to go up to like a whole nother area to get the wristband, to go down back to Kentia to go inside. They won't just check your ID. So I never went into 18 and up this time. Because last year they fully let me just like, here's my ID. You know. This time, no, I had to go get a wristband. So I never went down there because I was like, every time I went down there, there was a line as fuck line for the 18 and up area. There was a bunch of booths also, I'm sorry, that should have been in the 18 and up area. And it was just like lots of booth babes this year too. Lots more hot cosplayers at booths, which is not a new thing. I just thought it was a larger number this year, which I thought was interesting. Oh, Midnight Mahjong is mostly dead. So Midnight Mahjong is very similar to ParkCon, where it's an after hours like fan setup thing, like attendee activation setup. And so they call it Midnight Mahjong because they would literally play Mahjong. And this year it seems like it was fully co-opted by people trying to make it ParkCon like it I was just there in San Jose. Not Anime. Someone help me out. Where the fuck was I last month? Thank you for following. San Jose. Fan Expo? Fan Expo, San Jose? No, that was Denver. Fanime, thank you! Control Alt Delete, got it. Everyone else get wrecked. You're all fake fans of smallentertainment.com. Fakers. LARPers. Anyways. I'm assuming they were trying to make it like ParkCon, which is like Degenerate Festival, which is funsies for some people. And it's like Degenerate is said in like a nice way. It's like, yeah, everyone knows that it's kind of like, yeah, there's gonna be foot juice, someone's got a barbecue out, we're playing poker, we're DJing, you know, it's like fun as fuck, you know. And so someone was trying to make it that, and it was just like a bunch of randoms. No one was really playing Mahjong. So the person who organized it was like, yeah, I think Mahjong's dead for Midnight Mahjong. I mean, I'll go again because I'm me, you know? Like, my safety is one thing. I get worked up about other people's safety, you know? Oh. So, I filmed a couple of walkthroughs of the various halls. Like, literally me filming with my Osmo, walking up and down the aisles. Because I'm working on starting a convention slash expo slash event archive. Ooh, secret. Literally, I bought the domain today, okay? And so I thought, because I collect, you know, I have badges, I have wristbands, I have programs, etc. So I was like, let me just start doing this. Something small, nothing's launched yet, no one freak out. I don't know. I'm going to load the fuck up with ads so it pays for itself, by the way, just so you guys know, whenever the website goes live. No one tell Sparkly. Sparkly's deaf lurking. Oh god, no one tell Sparkly. If Sparkly's not in chat. So I was walking up and down and doing, I was holding the camera and walking up and down, and I would just like speed run it basically. Like I'd show the crowds, I'd speed run. I did the West Hall with no crowds because I went in early, so that was great. Quantum entanglement, fair and valid. I'm always convinced I'm going to clip into the back rooms in, you know, conventions. Because some convention centers, after hours at a convention, I think that's prime backrooms content. Like, I think like a few layers of the backrooms remembering a convention horror show. Are you kidding me? Just random cosplay bits everywhere. That's my ideal backrooms movie, okay? Just like a convention center backrooms because they're massive, you know? Like that sounds great. Anarchy? Why help? I'm bummed I missed Yard House, by the way. I'm actually agitated. I didn't go to the convention today, chat. Why help? I made food instead. Why do you need help? Anarchy got to meet Bondage Raphael today. Kay literally said it's not the same without Amanda. Ha! Hear that, chatters? I make the vibe. Everyone needs a quirky bisexual to round out the group. That's what we've learned, everyone. That knows a little bit too much about a little too many things, okay? Raphael scared me. Every convention is a yard house. Yeah, a yard house is like the, God, maybe I should make a map for the archive that's like the yard house ratio. Would you ever go to Anime NYC? Funny enough, someone from Anime NYC literally gave me their card this weekend. One would say you bring the swell entertainment. Oh my God, I should trademark that. I should make that my whole brand or something. Raphael scared me. How did he scare you? It looks very tame. Also, again, I reiterate, Chris could have taken the photo of himself and it would have been very funny. I really want chat. Strix, you won the Swell Grand Prix. Thank you for subscribing. OMG, wait, organizing the archive site map with a map, like a convention map. Blue skies. His nose was touching my nose. Yeah, you signed up to get a body. That's, I'm sorry, I can't even do it seriously. What if I was like super, like, God, I would be such a good prude, Chad. I'd be such a good one. That's a body. They barely filmed me. They would let them near the booth. No, I know, but still, from where we had been watching them, from the sign, you stand near the barrier, and then he goes, this is I'm gonna show you guys the photo framing I wanted him to take, because I think this is funny as fuck. Okay, so, this one, but like your eyes are like right here, so Chris would be here, and then in the background would be Anarchy and Bondage Raphael. And then he posts this with, I love my beautiful wife. I'm glad she's having fun. And I think that would be funny as fuck, okay? Alternatively, this one. Chris would do this one. With them over his shoulder in the background, I love my beautiful wife. Would be so... The cuck selfie is an underutilized piece of comedy. And I'm trying to bring it back, okay? Because it's so funny. Dude, you know what? I should have been there. I would have locked in. I would have locked in. Also, I was telling about how, I'm sorry, I think those fucking line people for the lads booth were mean as fuck. Like, I don't know how all of them were that aggressive the entire weekend. Because I would get it if fans were being shitty. Like, I think fans yelling justice for Valco is not a big fucking deal. Fans going, ow, is not a big fucking deal, okay? But the way they were screaming at people was psychotic. That was out of fucking line. They kept telling us to move so I wouldn't even stand still to take the selfie. Okay, well then, I don't know, be quicker? Skill issue, Chris. What are we talking about? Do you know how many times I've been on the verge of getting kicked out of somewhere and no one saw my phone because I took a photo so fucking fast? Click, click. Click, 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 click. Lock in, Chris. God, what are you? You're an Instagram husband. You have a gorgeous wife. What are we doing? Thank you for subscribing, Yearly Autumn. I'm yelling at my friends. Thank you for subscribing. The ones who put me in line were rude as hell and I did everything right. Yeah, dude, it was weird. So do people online have to ask each other? No, apparently it was a lot of that, it sounds like. And then for Anarchy, they let the employee did it for her. Is wondered fan to make customer service workers annoyed and mad for the rest of the day. That's not what this was, though, Tay Love. It's not what this was. I mean, it was indeed a shit show. Cosplayer was nice, though. He did laugh at me. Like, you actually heard auditory response. Them not speaking would stress me the fuck out. I'm sorry. Like, as much as I love the joke of, like, yes, I love when men don't speak. Men should speak less. You know, as much as I love that joke. Them not speaking and then also, like, performing emotes would stress me the fuck out. Yeah, I simply would have been built different. Yeah. Insta husband partner. You're so right. Anarchy. We need to make a course. That's the oh my god, you guys, we finally have a course I can make. Oh my god, guys. I've been joking. I've joked because everyone always tells creators like, "Oh, you should make a course. You should make a course." I am not the type of person that can make a course because of my content. I could make a course about how to draw the best stick figure known to fucking man. And you guys would say I'm a shill sellout fuck. You know, like it wouldn't matter because I've ripped into courses before. However, Instagram husband how-to is extremely funny. And therefore, I think it would classify under a meme course. And yet I also do think it would make me money. Therefore, and I won't make it with AI. Therefore, even better. Okay, I'm making an AI. Never mind, I'm doing it. I'm making AI. I'm making a course. Guys, deal with it. I was trying to do a handhold, then grabbed my hand, saw it shaking, looked at me and said, like, you good, and laughed. I thought you made a joke. Not that he was laughing at you being terrified. Miss Blue Skies were not even at. He laughed at me. I'm sorry, that's actually funny as fuck. No, it's like, have you guys ever seen? So there's this trend on social media. Obviously, it's like, oh, imagine your fave is in your room with you. Like, imagine you were watching a room with your fave. And K-pop fans are my favorite with this because one of them made this video where it was like if you're trapped in the room with your bias, and it's like, oh my god, no, I need you to stay over there. Don't look at me. Oh my god, don't touch me. I will throw up. Like, oh my god. like, I love you, did amazing. Oh my fucking god, please don't perceive me whatsoever. Like, I can't handle it. That's what I've seen a lot of the people getting their meet and greets done, I feel like, because this is a fictional character made real, which I'm so curious. I want a psychologist to look at this. Wait! Oh my god, now I have something so I'm doing something for Substack this month, i.e. I am writing every single day on Substack like a psychopath. I've done 4. Yeah, I missed the first day. I wanted at least 30, so I let myself skip the first day. We can't do a third project. It's not a third project, it's me writing a Substack about pontificating about the potential psychosis of your fictional game boyfriend being made flesh in front of you, and what that can do to the human body of a woman, i.e. Anarchy, who doesn't give a fuck, chat. Anarchy has one type, and it's her husband, truly, and fictional men. But this fictional man in front of her, she was shaking. And I'm sorry, that needs to be investigated. That needs to be investigated. Anarchy, that's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. M needs to post hers. I really want M to post hers. It's so funny. At Disney, they can't fucking touch me because you're not a child. That's the thing, Anarchy. He didn't talk to you. That's the thing. Is one photograph. No talk or touch, just pick. Let's go Mexico. Let's go Mexico. Hold on, this study might already exist. Okay. They say I saw some of those lads were at the booth. I was like, OMG. No, Silas was grinding on. Silas was borderline dry humming, but there's this really funny video. I think Anarchy sent it to me. Although, no, I think I saw a different angle, though, because I don't think it was Caleb. The one I saw was Caleb. Caleb was having this, like, really, like, cutesy, touching face moment with someone. And then in the background, Silas had physically lifted a girl up and was holding her and stepping into his... It was so fucking funny. Kitty, I want to know AutoMod flagged you for the word anal. I.e. made them especially anal, not anal as an anal sex, which I'm sorry is extremely funny. Was in a Raphael dress. Oh, that is funny. I saw the Silas video. He's not even in character anymore. That man is having a great time. Yeah. Someone said, people, I love the people speculating about his, the people making comments about, like, God, he must have some shady debts. Something must be afoot. Omen, I see what you're saying, but that's not what I'm talking about. That's just the same shit they've been saying all the time about, like, oh, women shouldn't read romance. It gives them unrealistic expectations. Women shouldn't play otome games because it gives them unrealistic expectations for relationships. It's the same shit. Cosplayers are just like this. No, you know what? I agree. I think Anarchy is the least horny cosplayer I've ever met. Like, her and Chris are extremely unhorny, and it's because they're already with each other. Like, it's... Every other cosplayer I met is a huge horn dog. Like, every convention I've been to where there's a massive... Like, you think the furries are fucking... Like, the cosplay community... Like, I'm shocked... The reason there were no women at the meet and the speed dating at Anime Expo. I'm sorry. I was looking at that room and I was just like, as a single woman, I was like, God, this is not where I would want to be. No offense to any of how those guys look. Just from a YouTuber perspective, there's a slight chance at least 20% of the men in that room watch my content, and I'd rather die. Like, I'd rather die than experience, oh my God, you're swell entertainment at a speed dating experience. I'm sorry, I'd rather die. No, lady boner, gone, okay? Whatever was there is non-existent anymore, the end. Remember the guy who randomly asked why I haven't hooked up with him and went VinCod cosplayer? Yeah, see? You think the furries are fucking, no, the cosplayers are fucking, yeah. And the meet and greet, that speed dating meet and greet, the speed dating thing, no women are at it because they already got their hookups. They're good. It's chilling. Said, disappointing, yeah. I'm a Florida cosplayer and some of those people, Jesus, yeah. I have never been, okay, let me, before I continue. Because I have many a viewer. I have never been actually invited to participate in a cosplay orgy. I have been invited if I wanted the hookup so that I could include it in the content, not like filming, but like be like a basically be a voyeur and come and watch. That has been offered to me and I've always respectfully declined because no. I have never been invited to the orgy. I have been invited to witness the orgy. And I'm sorry, it is funny as fuck. It's never someone I know, by the way. It's always like a viewer that's like, so I know you've talked about this, but if you, we do have a time. So like, if you wanted to like check it out, like please, like here's my like let me know. I'm like, no, thank you. Cogitation is diabolical. You know what? I was invited to review the orgy, which, you know what? I do think at some point, if I do actually pursue my degree in cultural anthropology, I will have to accept one of those offers at some point for the sake of science. I need to leave. Anarchy, come on, that's funny as fuck. Come on. The idea of a random person at a convention. A cogitation. An ass Ketchum masks. No, seriously though, respectfully though, because I have heard many a story. If you are a girl, never go to one alone. I.e., if you are going to be participating, please never go alone. Please know of at least 2 other people involved. Hell, you should be asking for test results. Be safe, be smart. Unless you have been engaging with them first, I do think condoms are a requirement. If they are not present, you need to fucking leave. Okay. Now I'm big sister Amanda. Be fucking responsible. No one wants a con baby. Okay? It's not hot. We don't want a con STD as an STD. Okay? We don't want a con baby. Let's be smart. The herpes. Remember that 1 year before COVID? Remember that 1 year? No, God, was it into COVID? Okay. So I think it was right after Coachella. No, it was the year before Coachella. But God, was it 2029? Was it 2019 when there was the herpes outbreak at Coachella? Do you guys remember this? Do you remember like the incessant? We had what it was. I believe it was herpes. One of our I believe our managers had our coworker that was there. They asked him to like stay home until he knew for certain, like it could jump people to people. Like I think it was God, was it herpes? I don't remember. Con STD is Jesus. Con STD. I was a guest at a convention. The amount of shameless, horny flirting throughout the weekend. Never go to these alone. Yeah. Think about it like a business convention. I know many of you have not been to business conventions because you're my audience, but also some of you could be at business conventions because you're my audience. I don't know. 250 cases. Amanda's standing at the edge of the room with 4 undergrads and a clipboard counting behaviors at the cosplay orgy. Well, I do want to know if there's like a consistency in the types of cosplays that are present at the cosplay orgy, you know? Because I have been told that there are specific types of fursonas that are present at the furry orgies, okay? And so I am curious. Cosplay act correlation, I'm dying. Like, come on, I want to know. These are questions I have, okay? But no, God, what was it? I vaguely remember that. Spoiler seeds, so yeah. God, I feel like it was herpes. I know we made everyone quarantine with COVID, obviously, regularly before I left. There's always a Deadpool cosplayer. You know there's a Deadpool cosplayer. But see, I want to know the ratio of dead. Like, is it like 1 girl per 3 Deadpool cosplayers? Like I need to know these ratios. Is it as bad as that room? If you are ever the only girl in the room, I want you to leave immediately. Leave immediately. Leave, chat, leave. I'm dead serious. Any orgy, okay? Because then it's not an orgy. It's a gangbang, and that's a separate thing, and you need to leave immediately, okay? Sorry, hang on. What did I join into? Bald, we're talking about cosplay orgy. Because I revealed the chat that I have, on occasion, not been offered to participate because I review events. I have been offered to witness one if I would like to include it in videos of reviews of events, because it is part of the culture. We could stop. That's an option. No, that's not. That's less funny, Anarchy. See, as I said, the least horny cosplayer I know. Well, if it's a gay guy orgy jazz, that completely negates what I'm talking about, but you already knew that. So now we're just throwing questions out for no reason. I'm sorry I didn't jump Raphael. I'm not saying you should jump Raphael. I think this is interesting. No, so guys, we got on this topic. I'm not saying to jump Raphael. What the fuck? It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we got on this topic because I thought it was interesting that these, all these cosplayers that are just random dudes that happen to be pretty, that they stuck in wigs and did their makeup and put them in the outfits of these games, are getting this visceral reaction for these game players. I think that's fascinating. And I am so curious about that and the psychology of that. You know what I'm saying? The chick she jumped, was this at the Avian Awards? No. Cosplay conventions. Oh, she jumped him and wrapped her legs around his waist. Is that the one we're talking about? Must have been a square because in my 10 years of con going, I've never gotten an orgy invite. I should also note, again, I'm not being invited to the you guys need to understand, I'm being invited to witness the orgies for the sake of content. For the story time, if I'm ever curious. I'm not being invited to participate in the orgy. which also, I'm sorry, in concept, extremely funny. But I think it's also because I've been very clear, I will not, like, hook up with a viewer. Like, I've been very clear about that. So maybe they're thinking that. They're like, okay, well, none of us have a chance anyway, so this is fine. But we want to make sure that if she wants to get the most out of her con experience, we should offer this. Like, I think that's extremely funny. I'll send it to you 1 second on Twitter. Okay. I need to plug my phone in. It's gonna die. Oh no. And they can't talk, so he deaf didn't consent. Yeah. Amanda won't fuck you. Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, wait. Are these actually Love and Deep Space fans waiting for the cosplayers to leave the event? Is this real? Anarchy? Anarchy, can you confirm? Yeah, they left out the back. That's funny as hell. I'm sorry. The adjusting the gloves is crazy. Was this the first day? Because he's in the... Oh, okay. Oh, so this is the clip. So it is the same clip. Okay, the clip I saw was as he was stepping over. This shows her physically actually jumping in onto him. Yeah. Girly, I don't know if you're going to be allowed to do that ever again. You got the... Oh no, Sparkly is here. Sparkly, did you hear me say that not to tell you about something? Yeah, hi Sparkly. Sparkly coming in with and then there's Sparkly with the steel chair. Banhammer jokes, one thing. Steel chair, funnier. I was gonna have to rewind the... No, thank God. You don't need to. It's totally fine. It was totally joking. Totally joking. But I came over and says hi, everyone. Hi, Sparkly's dad. Your dad is the one that said I was funny, right? I want to make sure. Yes, okay. Not that I would take the high back if he didn't say I was funny, but I do appreciate people's dads thinking I'm funny. So that's why people go to those events. Now I see the appeal. Well, it's like the No, because I mean, a lot of people don't. Like, there's plenty of people that I know that have been going to cons for like a decade and they've never even heard of, you know, con orgies happening. It's very like a secondary, like a secondary to the secondary subculture. Um, it stems in group chats, it stems in discords, it stems in hotel blocks. You know, like it can be. Uh, Sometimes people show up and they think they're going to a party, and then surprise, people are clothesless. You know, like so. Um, it's not always the most copacetic thing. You know. The guy's just insane. Yeah. Also, con partner swapping. Yes. Yeah. But sometimes, so there's partner swapping, but then I also feel like sometimes it is like literally cosplay specific partner swapping, i.e., they're like, oh, your partner would actually fit better for the cosplay I want to do. So they literally, like, you would think it's also sexual, but they are literally partner swapping for the sake of aesthetics with their cosplays. I don't see it often, but it is a thing that I do see. Corgis. Instead of con orgies. No, it's totally, yeah, see, that's the thing. Most people think it's a joke. It's totally real. One of my long-term girlfriends during an anime con orgy. There you go. It's far, I will say it's far more common in the furry community. Furry conventions, it's far more common. I made this research. Me going and getting an anthropology PhD, and my research is on the sexual behaviors of cosplayers and the sexual behaviors of congoers in the cosplay and furry communities. I'm sorry. Why would that slap? I do think that would be groundbreaking research when you think about it. Since most people have 5 to 10 people in a hotel room to save on costs. That too, but usually that ends with at least one person. Everyone kind of wants to mentally murder them. Yeah, Call of Duty cosplayers get play. You gotta have the height though. Some dudes, I saw many a short ghost this week. I'm sorry, my guy. It's not gonna work. It's like, do you guys remember the hot Minotaur from Ren Fair this past year? Everyone was like, wait, whoa. Why is the Minotaur ripped? Why is he hot? It's like, yeah, a lot of nerds are hot. I guarantee you he got a number, and I do think that man was gay. So, there's also that. There's worse things to study. I mean, it's a really, for me, it would be an extremely easy, not easy, because research is not easy like that, obviously, for doctorate work. But it would be easy because I have I have a wide variety of knowledge already of where to attend for such research. One of the hot TikTok Call of Duty cosplayers was a woman, and I know she's God's favorite. Yeah, some of the hottest, so like pretty much so many Love and Deep Space cosplayers, most of the like well-known ones are women. Aside from Tall Silas, who's like 6'11" and just regularly cosplays as Silas last year. I think he did it this year too. I don't think we saw him. You would see him. He's 6'11". He's like 6'7". Was he 6'7" or 6'11"? He's tall as fuck. Some people do hook up with each other because they're really into the character someone is cosplaying, if that adds to it. Yeah. The psychology of, no, I'll sleep with you, but you gotta keep that mask on. Also, I'm gonna call you a different name. Actually, don't talk. That is a thing that also happens. Truth be told, these kinds of experiences have steered me towards my career in sexologist, so I can relate. Valid and fair. How tall? 6'7". Oh my. No, I have known a man, oh, he's health issues tall. He's really tall. If these con orgies are happening, maybe we can answer the question, does X character bottom? That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I do think, thank you for following. I don't normally talk about con orgies for those of you that are new here. We just had Anime Expo, and I was talking about for those of you that are new to chat, hi. I am very fascinated by the psychology of these fans of lads, Love and Deep Space, having this very physical, visceral reaction to these random men that are just in makeup and wigs cosplaying as these characters in real life that aren't saying a word. The behavior, you could argue, is obviously for Silas, like you could argue like, yeah, Silas seems like a freak, he'd absolutely do all this, you know. But like Zane's just a dude, he's a doctor, you know, like he's just a guy. Xavier's sleepy, you know. Caleb would lock you in his apartment to keep you from talking to other men. Well, so would Xavier. So yeah, Raph likes to paint shit. Call you Miss Bodyguard. So Zane, Mr. Horny. I know, but we're not talking about the myths. You know what I mean? He was in my face, Amanda. Yeah, I know. He's also a random man. Anarchy, the way I've seen you speak to men. Like, come on. Like, this was random. Like, I've never seen you act like that with a dude. Yeah, random man in my face. I've never seen you act that way. Oh, God. Asking the real question. I was once asking to keep quiet or only replying Japanese. This is too real. The not talking thing is important because it means the illusion can't be broken. Yeah. I'm sorry, Amanda got you with that one. The only person I've had that close to my face in 7 years is Chris. I know that's your husband. Oh God, I'm sorry. This is so funny. Like no, but like look at our friend. She like fully locked up. She locked up for other reasons, but she was also like, I can't move. Other girls, you just see them getting violently red. You know, you see them literally, like, I think every single video where they zoom in, you can see them trembling. You were trembling, Anarchy. Also locked up. Yeah, I think it's fascinating that you guys are all having this visible body reaction. Because I'm an asshole. I would dap them up. Hey man, like I'm meeting Valco. And then they try to grab my hand and I'd be like, okay. So see now how it's awkward? You know, like I would just talk. I'm an asshole. I know he laughed at me. But I do find it interesting because like I know how I would be, but I'm curious if I also would change in that moment. You know, like if it is like like I know, okay, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, and then I walk up there, and if I also freeze, like, hey, how y'all doing? You know, like I met Lewis Hamilton and Chris and Charles Leclerc, and my thing was, hey boys, are we gonna win this weekend? Photo. Let's go. You know, like I'm leaving, you know? Okay, cool. We're gonna go get dinner now. You know, like I can't imagine having an experience with an Otome game where I have that type of reaction. You know what I'm saying? I think you'd lock up low-key, especially if it was insane, Silas. Amanda, talk myself in, talk myself out, Golga. Yes, Amanda, they talk and aren't fictional. They're both famous men. I'm gonna, God, if I ever meet Charles, I feel like half y'all are gonna be commenting. You mean Chris? I'd full for Silas Loki, I get it. I think you would need an A/B test of that happening with cosplayers from other media you don't know to control for intimidating presence up close. Well, see, no, because then I'd have to, I'd have to do the test of, I would need a control group. So I would just need to go around with someone who like really wants to meet cosplayers, probably, or at least a couple of people. Like I'm thinking of like the actual parameters of this, because you would need a control group. So then would that be people that are not into that cosplayer, but still hot cosplayers, you know? So like they're not into that media, but the cosplayer itself is physically attractive, you know? I think that would be like a good barometer. And then like this would need to be a wide range of data points. You know what I'm saying? To make this make sense. Because it's so random. It would have to be multiple conventions. It would have to be, you know? Nah, see, I spoke to that man normally. Chris Leclerc. Leclerc. I give a fuck about the man who hopped out of my phone. Get back in there. Okay, so Markiplier's in this category too. Nah, see, I spoke to that man normally. I remember Parson and Cole talking about how at a meet and greet, one fan waited 2 hours just to walk past him, shake a security officer's hand, then leave immediately. That's funny as fuck. That is the funniest shit I've seen. I'm sorry. I would clap. That power move is funny as hell. Like, I was nervous, excited, but normal. The lads cosplayers were extra hot for being masked up. I think if he was silent and holding your hand, it would have been different, LMAO. I wonder if geography would matter too, like if you sampled from multiple conventions in each city, would different cities have different vibes? Well, I don't know, because like so many people that are here for Anime Expo don't live in LA. You know, like the vast majority of people that are here are not like local attendees. They travel for this. So like that's the thing as well, is I would have to talk to everyone and be like, I need where you live, I need where you're from, I need your age, demographic. A lot of people don't like sharing their ages when they're in cosplay as well, because there is like a stigma around older cosplayers. And even younger cosplayers. So like it's sometimes they're like really hush hush about their age, which is a thing. If masked shirtless Iron Lung Markiplier was in a weird booth and held my hand and got a centimeter from my face, yes, I would freeze up. Oh dear God, the MagFest romance scene is kind of freaky but super hetero. Adds to it the mystery, haha. Okay, so fair, fully same. Have a good night, take care, bye. I'm crying, I'm sorry, this is so funny. Even worse if he ain't talking. Markiplier, okay, hold on. Can we edit a photo of Markiplier? Mark, if you ever see this, I'm sorry. Drew. Hang on, sorry. Okay, sorry, I got an email. No, we're not editing a photo of Markiplier, but that'd be really fun. Hello, this is Markiplier. Just intense eye contact. So, Iron Lung. Oh God. Wait, where's the photo of him in the slutty harness? Hold on. Harness. We need to make this realistic. We don't have high resolution photos of the harness yet? Come on. I expect more of you. God, his face is... I expect more from y'all, chat, but first I'm gonna show you this this image. Oh God. Like his face isn't shown in any of these. Like, okay, masked up, and then he's just talking about Eden. The voices. Right up in your face. This fandom does not have high-res version of that yet. I mean, it's on YouTube. I'm shocked it's just not on Google yet. I can't scroll down. It's all just leather daddy harnesses now. If I scroll down any further, by the way. Those are the only viable options. Everything else is leather daddy. Also, just searching up Iron Lung does give me the results you would think, which is a bunch of iron lungs. Especially the man who was the last survivor. He died at 78. I believe he was the last living person living in an iron lung. An actual iron lung, not like... You know what I mean. Handing you a prop or something. Oh, God. Guys, also, Green Yuri is getting an anime, i.e., the boy she was interested in wasn't a boy at all. I'm very excited. I've told Anarchy I will be extremely annoying when this comes out. More annoying than I am currently about Marriage Toxin, which she also still will not watch. I will be annoying about the gay anime. Nirvana on the Green Yuri. We've yearned for times like this. Green Yuri propaganda. Propaganda? Anarchy, I don't care that it's after Pride Month. You can't speak to your token bisexual like that. I didn't say I wouldn't watch it, I just said the marketing was shit. Which is true. About Marriage Toxin, Green Yuri has incredible marketing. I.e., Green Yuri has merch at TwitchCon. TwitchCon! People were selling shit. Okay. He's being emo. BRB deleting Anarchy's ally clip. Ah. After I do reparation raids. You know, this one-sided ally shit, I can't even get it out normally. I'm sorry. I can't. Oh, God. Not this dude getting okay, bro got his phone taken though. Good. Okay, sorry. People were being creepy at midnight, Mangshang. I'm gonna be honest, when I was wearing a skirt yesterday at Anime Expo, you ever know when you're just kind of itching for a fight? And I was like, God, I hope I find a creep. I kind of really hope I find one, because I kind of do feel like I'd feel better about the vibes of AX if I put my fist through someone's nose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like I'd feel better. Girl. The only thing that can fix this friendship is letting Anarchy and Chris finally meet Hermes. Yeah, guys, they've never met Hermes, by the way. Chris thinks he doesn't exist. He's AI. Not Amanda lurking. PewDiePie moment. Have you watched the Leviticus movie? I haven't had time! I need to. Is someone texting me? No. Let me see. Sorry, my friend is asking for dates so we can film a podcast that we were supposed to film like last month. Okay, sick. Bye. I gotta go to dinner. Bye. Where are you guys gonna go? You already went to. Oh wait, don't tell me. Never mind. We're live on stream and not on Discord chat. Anarchy's list of people who have been that close to her face will go up when Hermes attempts to murder. Yeah. No, Hermes goes for the ankles on people. Please don't share her feelings on all the Greek gods and it'll be okay. Later. Did I tell you how a pet psychic told me that the reason Hermes won't let me trim his feet is because he has decided that his name has power and therefore his feet, those are actually his winged shoes. Therefore, I'm not allowed to trim his fur around his feet. Pet psychic told me that at CatCon. This is the type of information you get when you just go to shit and you're a real event head. I'm 50% to my sub goal. Yay. Did I? Oh no, those are all followers. That's weird. Did we get a new sub? Pray to her before touching him. That's amazing. Makes sense when you think about it. Someone sub privately? How do you sub privately? It's not showing up. I only got followed. How do you privately sub without it telling me? How would I get a... What? I don't think that's how that works. Sub renewal. Oh, that's my Nathan. Hi, Nathan. I asked if ever terrified you. Was that the first message you've ever said in your life? Oh, yeah, your 2 messages are that? Yeah, I don't negotiate with terrorists, so I'm just gonna go ahead and there we go. Okay, cool. No need to negotiate, Sparkly. No. Wild vibes, LMAO. Like we're talking about I was talking about orgies for like 30 minutes. Like and you come in, do you feel terrified of death? Like what the fuck? We're talking about life. We're talking about cosplay. Back to the ether you go. That was weird. I don't know. Chat, I expect weird shit on this app. Okay, what else is going on? But yeah, the Artist Alley thing has been really, I don't know, it's just bothering me. The having it doesn't make sense to have it is my thing. Like have it, like literally have it in half. God, this was this much. Were people thinking there was artists in the 18 and up era? Well, I mean, I guess there was art. I wouldn't know. They need better line control for the 18 and up area, if not putting the 18 and up area in a completely different space. Because the crowd I'm looking at right now. Okay, I'm risking showing y'all Twitter. Everyone behave. Hey, so can we please like never do this for the 18 plus artists? So this, oh wait, you can't see it. This over here, hold on. This over here is the 18 and up, like quartered off area, I believe, right? Yeah. And then this was the line to get in because it doubles around. I'm assuming. It was a bit funky, but not actually bad. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It smelled worse this year. And I'm not going to pretend. Some people were like, it doesn't smell that bad. And I disagree. It smelled worse this year. I don't know what was happening. I was smelling, your day 1 funk should not still be festering on day 3. Okay? I don't care if your shower room 10 people deep. You need to be showering. Double up. Save water. Okay? Gotta be clean. Gotta be showering. If you're cosplaying, you either need to shower the night before or the morning before you get in your cosplay. Yes, we can smell you through the foam. And you're sweaty, I understand. Deodorant, antiperspirant, body sprays, they are helpful. Okay? Odor gotta be included in the research. No, I'll leave that to the smell doctor. My queen. Wetsuit, dry suit. No, I feel like that you just soak and you'd marinate yourself. I was being nosy. Fake emo ass. Did you stop by the Valco tribute outside? I never made it out there, unfortunately. I hope people took really good quality photos of it because you know the con staff is just going to get rid of it because that's what they always do. So I hope some people took like some really good content of it. Just to maintain, you know, to immortalize it. The tits out glitter nipples of Raphael is hilarious. And we're coming back for the 4th of July Anime Expo. Kinosaki and Hirashiyama's. Oh, that's so funny. I wear so much makeup back when I cosplayed that I needed to shower it all off to get it off. The way I tabbed back at tits out glitter nipples, yeah. You know, that's just the type of whiplash you get here on Swell Entertainment. I like to keep everyone on their toes. Really, we're trying to fight brain rot. And so I need to give you auditory ADHD. in order to fight brain rot. We're really testing your abilities to understand long form content. Therefore, you hear things like glitter titties. You also might hear, con orgies. Maybe we'll talk about the ramifications of death in chat, i.e., if you ask me a weird fucking comment, I will turbo ban you, like with a ban hammer, because I don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm really trying to help. Truly. Binaural audio, but it's just unhinged shit at random intervals. Yeah, it's just brain rot being launched at you, The what now? Excuse me? Did you guys miss the con orgy discussions? I can't get back into that if you guys missed the con orgy discussions. Everyone is just desperate on Twitter for Valko to come back. So Valko, for those of you that missed it, that are not aware, so Lads is Love in Deep Space. It's an otome game out of China, okay? It is so popular, it made more money last year than Pokemon's mobile game did, okay? Made so much money, okay? Girls love a dating game, okay? Cute boys, good stories, it'll do it, okay? So it's always been clear there was going to be a sixth love interest. They launched the sixth love interest, Valko, I was like, that's a cat boy, because he had little cat ears. And Anarchy was like, Amanda, that's a werewolf. He's a wolf boy. It was like, that's a furry. Again, what are we doing? And then so like getting more and more videos of him, like, okay, he's growing on me. This is fun. This is funny. I asked chat on TikTok, I asked the valuable question while I was in France of, is this a furry? Would this constitute as a furry? Because he does have a tail and a muzzle and the ears and regular ears, which I did find funny. And then when I came back, I went to bed and there was Infold, which is the company that makes Love in Deep Space, put out a statement saying that they were doubling down and that Valko was staying, and they understood that people were upset. Here's what we're doing to deal with it, okay? Because apparently Chinese fans hated Valko, okay? Apparently they thought he, one, looked too Western, was too tan, and also looked gay. And apparently they believe that Infold in the US, it allows you to play as a man, i.e. you can date men in the game, which it is not. And they've done a lot of catering to try and make it look like you can't be a man that plays this game. Okay, it's for girls, by girls, for girls. Even the way they address you, they now refer to you as Miss Hunter, whereas the one they had before was like kind of gender neutral, something Hunter. I forget the opening. And then 12 hours later, okay, after they said they're doubling down, I woke up. I didn't even read the doubling down one because I was like, this is too long. Whatever. Woke up, open up the other one, and again, it's like they just posted it an hour before I woke up, so I was like, long, that's weird. 2 in 24 hours, that's weird. I open it. First bullet point, we are deleting Valko. And there will be no future love interests. No more future love interests. You caved in 12 fucking hours. Pathetic loser behavior. I hated it. I stand behind your game. I feel that very strongly. Her throat choker. Thank you for following. I feel very strongly about I don't care if you produced shit from butt and called it music, okay? You, as an artist, should stand behind what you made, okay? Same with games. Same with a video. Same with anything. You, if you want to be taken seriously in business, game development, artistry, whatever you put out, you should put your heart and soul in between. And even if people are mad at you, you should still stand behind that. If you are factually incorrect, i.e. a YouTube video with factual inaccuracies, there's so many fucking helicopters right now, then that's one thing. This is not a factual inaccuracy. This is a subset of your fans, which is a large subset. I'll give you that. A vast majority of your audience hating a certain character and you deciding that you were going to kowtow to them because they were reporting the game. Side note, it's extremely funny now. And again, I'm not pro censorship, but I do find this extremely funny because allegedly Chinese fans were reporting the game to the government like, hey, this game is promoting violence against women because this character, Valko, like sneaks into your apartment, okay? And they were like, he's stalking you, da-da-da. Problem is that every single love interest in the game has done some fuck shit, i.e. Caleb, okay, the most recent love interest. Yeah, he was your childhood friend, and he's not your brother, but you guys did both call the same woman grandma. So you're not related, but you are related, but you're not. Okay. Anyways, in a most recent one of the recent cards, he refers to his little sister. By the way, he did get blown up. So did your grandma. Then he came back and he was missing an arm. But he came back anyway, and now he's alive and he's obsessed with you. And he's annoyed and extremely jealous and very, very controlling. Okay, kind of abducts you and is like, "Why would you leave me?" Da, 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 da. Okay, so like, there's that. Zane, childhood friend that's now your doctor. You're dating him too. We also have Silas. He is a crime boss. He did also kidnap you until you resonated together. So there's that. You've slept with all of them, by the way. Xavier, who's like there. He's just jealous and weird. Raphael, I think, is a mob boss, but also a merman. Also paints and has a lot of money. So unrealistic expectations that you're going to marry a billionaire, probably, which they're cracking down in media anyway. So yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. There is talk that allegedly the government is now investigating the game as a whole and Otome Games as a whole. And I'm sorry, I'm not pro censorship. If this gets that game deleted, it will be funny as fuck. And I will say so accordingly. I hate that movie Lab. Which boy you want to pull events for? You were basically raised together, yes. A dating sim where someone's grandma blows up and someone loses an arm is not what I was anticipating. Yeah. You're literally like an intergalactic hunter. There's also powers. You have powers. Most of them have powers. Hence the resonating, which hence why there's now a werewolf catboy thing. Violet, I swear to God, I already answered your question. Am I wrong? Either that or someone said that exact same sentence like 5 minutes ago. I fully believe it's just poor coincidence that they could have changed the number instead of, you know, deleting the entire character. If they ruin this for everyone, that would be funny. Control B's? No. Also, if Insole Paper Games goes down, this does the Infinity Nikki and related games go down too. Yeah. No, it's bad. And again, I think this is a play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You couldn't handle that there was going to be a character in a game that you weren't attracted to or that you thought wasn't catered to you, and you mass report the game and send literal piles of shit to the offices and harass the employees of the paper games office, and you're shocked that there's consequences. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Play stupid games and stupid prizes. Like, that's, you were psychotic, the end, you know? There was a number in Valko's backstory where someone that had a connection. Okay, now we're just being ridiculous. Control Alt Delete. Like, are we actually serious? You can look at any media and find ties. They do that all the time. Look at the Taylor Swift necklace shit. Do I think that Taylor Swift put out a necklace that was about white power? Absolutely the fuck not. But they ran with that as if she was purposely putting out a necklace that had a white power symbol on it because it had a lightning bolt. You know, like we can do this game all day. Let's run with the coincidences. Yeah. I'm just so tired of companies bending to the whims of Chinese fans and not having a backbone. It's not even just Chinese fans. I've just in general, like this is in particular as Chinese fans, but I just don't have respect for this across the board. Like, it's really bothersome to me. I also don't have respect for I don't have respect for that girl. She got rid of her trademark, which like was the smart thing to do. But initially she doubled down, and you know what? As soon as you double down, you should have kept that shit. The girl who trademarked Hot Girls Read, that irritated the fuck out of me, the whole thing. But as soon as she doubled down and she was like, so I trademarked it, she should have ran with that shit. Because you know what? People would have gotten agitated and fallen. Like, again, you knew this was dumb. You knew this was dangerous for your business, and you did it anyway. Okay, stand with your choice. Live with it. Congrats. Congrats. You did it. Lock in. You know, like the girl that trademarked Hot Girl Walk. If she doubles back, like I think she's a deeply unlikable person. But if she doubles back, I'll lose more respect. Do I hate it? Am I agitated that she's enforcing the copyright on community meetup events? Yes. When there's no money involved, absolutely. Do I hate it? Yes. However, if she does cave now, what the fuck was all this for? You know, like why go through the work of doubling down if you're gonna cave later? You know, that's my thing. Like, don't waste my fucking time. You know. I wish fans that bought the game in-game currency in preparation for Valko are an opportunity for refunds due to cancellation. I think people are reporting them. That's another thing. There's a lot of mass reporting to the Apple Store. There's a lot of mass reporting on, I think, Google and such, which I'm not always a fan of. However, if you booked something and then they canceled it, they also advertised the game. They were running ads with Valko, like, oh, download now and get this bonus program and things like that. So people downloaded and put some money in the game in preparation for Valko. And apparently over 1 million people did cancel the game, but that was when Valko was announced, which is why they freaked out in China. Like a million people deleted the game or something. Also, a loser was his worse. Exactly. You know, like if you're gonna commit, I would at least give you props for committing. You know, like I would be like, oh my god, wow, they're a real ass bitch. You know, but no, if you back down, then I'm like, okay, you knew there was gonna be heat, and you caved anyways. Bye. Like the woman who thought her Fruit Pebbles cake pops were copyright. Yeah, you can't really copyright a recipe like that. Not unless you have like a commercial product, i.e. Pepsi, Coke, things like that. And even then, there's plenty of companies that do like knockoff versions now, you know? Like you'll never get the exact recipe, but like for the most part it's protected legally. Do I want more pasta? It's downstairs. I can't decide. It's closed constantly. I feel the ideal situation would have been to delay Valko's release to come alongside a major updates for all the romance options with like 33 polls. Yeah, which basically, like, they could have delayed it with the initial message. I would have respected that with the initial message. And again, delaying him would be one thing. Canceling him outright because of backlash, pussy shit, you know? I am curious, though, about the tourism board for China, because I do know there is quite a bit of tourism that happens from people from other countries, i.e. the United States, going to China for Love and Deep Space events, because this is like the Anime Expo events, I believe, are the only official events they've done in the United States. Everything else is usually only done in China. It's a China exclusive, is my understanding. Ask me about it. Oh yeah, Dexerto made an article, like non-fandom based platforms are making articles about it. People that have never played Love and Deep Space are like, oh my god, I'm invested in his play. I got my dad invested in his play. What's going on with that? I'm sure will be a question I will be asked in the coming days. Boy, girl caught. Girl. The huge girl caught. The word boycott it's not referring to boys doing it, which I think you know that. I think you're just saying that to fuck with me. But girl caught is really fucking me up. I'm sorry. It is. You can get the pasta in 4 months chill. No, the girl caught of 2025. No, I know of the girl cod of Infinity Nikki. I just think calling it a girl cod is stupid. They caught. Them caught. Y'all are tiring. I'm just, you guys just, I feel like you guys are just doing things to like, you know. You know? They, them caught got me acting unwise. Instead of blacklist, we can call it naughty list. Or no list. Oh my god. The word boycott on the subreddit. It was legit, okay? Oh, god. Still. My computer just makes sounds sometimes. Sorry, I heard it making noise like it was talking to me. It speaks to me. Gosh, okay. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else about Anime Expo that I felt was necessary. Oh, I started telling the story earlier, and then I think we started talking about Love and Deep Space because Anarchy came in. So I, as I said, was Sparkly. Don't get excited. I already bought the domain. This is the thing you weren't supposed to be told about. So I filmed walkthroughs of all the major halls. I did not film walkthroughs of the actual artist alley space, like the rows, because I feel the need to protect artists and their work, especially in the time of rising AI. But I was filming so like which you still want to be able to see things if I was just doing the walkthroughs, but with the crowds, I didn't want to risk it. So I was like, you can see the areas, but there's no walkthrough of the actual artist alley space, okay, which I think is fine. But I was doing walkthroughs, like literally walking up and down the aisles, okay? And at one point in South Hall, when I was first doing it, someone was like, Swell Entertainment, and so I stopped and I stood where I was standing so I could continue. We talked for a minute, talked about, Fanime or whatever. Oh, what was your name? Okay, gotta go, bye, whatever. No big deal, no photo, nothing. Okay, walking. Close to 5 minutes later, I started filming again, and again, he had been behind me. And I realized as I'm filming, because I'm blocked in on making sure the framing is good or whatever, thank you for following, I realized that I was going to go down an aisle I had already gone, so I doubled back. I was like, oh, I did that, and I doubled back, and I ran smack into this man. He was like, oh, sorry, and like walked off. And I didn't like that because I think he was following me for 5 minutes and I didn't notice because I was locked in. So yeah, if you do ever see me at a convention and we talk and then I walk away, do not follow me. Okay? Didn't see him again the rest of the time. But also he was a big dude too, so it's like already I'm like, okay. I am a small woman, so I am aware of various things, okay? So again, probably harmless, probably was just like, where is she going? What is she doing? Is it cool? Whatever. He walked off afterwards, but that was jarring as fuck. Don't do that, okay? The other one was yesterday I left to go to Little Tokyo because I wanted to see what the setup was. I didn't see the actual little artist alley they set up. I couldn't find it, alas. And then I went back because Scootish was there. And I was trying to rush to meet Scootish because he was like, we're leaving. And as I'm like walking inside, someone chased after me, was like, wait, oh my God, you're on YouTube. Oh my God. And I was like, yeah, if it helps, I do Swell Entertainment. He was like, Swell. I was like, I'm so sorry, dude. I don't have time for this. Not the time. I'm literally like sweating. It's hot. I'm rushing to get to security. And now is not the time to try and figure out how you know me. I'm so sorry. My guy, no, lock in or be done, So yeah, those were the only two where I was just like, eh. And even then, the second one was just like, I was like, this is not the time. Like, I'm clearly rushing. The other one got me because I was clearly filming when he walked up. And so I made the note of like, that's rude, But other people did it and they were like, sorry. Like, it's like getting my attention in some capacity, which like, I get it, but whatever. I struggle to be observant while walking home. No, see, that's the thing. My head is usually on a swivel, which I think is why it's bothering me so much. Like I am basically I'm scanning a zone like I'm a Terminator. You know, I'm in a war zone. I'm scanning. I'm looking for a fuck that's upskirting girls so I can punch them in the face. You know, like I'm looking for someone with a suspicious bag. You know, I'm looking for someone a little too aware of my existence. Where's security? Where's con staff? You know, who's doing what? Is there a free bag somewhere being held out? You know, that's what I'm doing 90% of the time at a convention, okay? And so me being locked in and not noticing that person, I think is why it's really bothering me. Because normally I would have picked up on that, you know? For the Formula One fan spot in Vegas, I was worried it looked like I was following you, but I just wanted to see Jessica Edgar's car up close too. No, you're good. You're fine. Wait, are you the one that was like, wait, I heard your voice. Are you swell? Was that you? Because someone, I yelled. So for those of you who don't know, Jess Edgar was doing show runs at the Fan Village for Formula One in 2024. And I was really bothered by the setup because they did not have a table explaining what Formula F1 Academy was. They did not have anything explaining who Jess was, why she was doing show runs, why she was in an Amex car, nothing. And I was very bothered by the fact that they just had her do it and then they'd have her walk to the gate to take photos with people. No explanation, no introduction, no, hey guys, yeah, she's gonna come up and take photos after. Not even that. So I was really agitated. So when she got out of the car, after I said hi to her to like break the ice, because I was like, hi, because I had seen her do this a bunch of times at this point, I yelled, everyone, this is Jess Edgar. She races the Amex car in F1 Academy. You can watch it for free on YouTube this weekend, where they will also be racing the same track as the F1 drivers. Woo! I was just doing that because they didn't have shit. I was agitated. And then some people came up to me and they were like, sorry, I recognized your voice. Are you Swell Entertainment? Oh my god, when I met you in 2044, I remember that from the video. Yeah, I yelled a lot. Con orgy thing gonna be a video or just a fun fact of the day? No, it's not gonna be a video. I was talking about it because we were just talking about it on stream. I was joking about it because I do want to go back to school at some point for anthropology. I just don't want to do it right now because AI, I need that bubble to burst before I even consider giving money to a university. And I was joking about, like just sharing that fact, and then we were talking about it like in the context of, wait, I now actually have questions like from an anthropology perspective of like the concept of sexual activity at conventions and furry like cosplay conventions and furry conventions and like the intersection of that. So we were just like talking about that in like joking but also very, slightly serious tone. People were confused, yeah. And you know what? I didn't throat punch a man who said, wait, it's a woman? Let's all take a big step back from the barrier before the car comes out. I didn't throat punch that man. I didn't give a snide look to the women who laughed at that. And therefore, I deserve a trophy. Because I should have throat punched that man. But they probably wouldn't have let me go to the race if I had throat punched him. That's how I justified it. Has become event staff unintentionally ticked up to at least 2. That's so real. I finally started my history degree and only one, thankfully, professor encouraged us to use AI for sourcing. He should have got hit. Dude, what the fuck? Because that's gross. Holy shit, that's control. Yeah, you do deserve one. Yeah. Yeah, see, what's been helping me not freak out when I'm at a race and I hear men talking shit about the F1 Academy drivers is, one, they usually say something 5 seconds later that makes me realize, oh, they're idiots. Like, for example, at my MEGP last year, because I didn't go this year, we were in line and I was agitated because the girls were on track doing practice and we were outside and I was agitated. And the guys behind me, they were like teenagers and they were like, who wants to see the girls? No one cares about the girls. Who wants to see the girls race? They're just doing that shit. Like, no one's actually here for that. I don't know why they give a shit, you know? And then 2 seconds later, one of them was like, Formula One drivers aren't athletes. There's no, what type of athletic skill do you need to drive a Formula One car? And I was like, oh, they're idiots. Okay, cool. So yeah, I feel less bad about that one. So unintentionally, you know, it happens. Let's see. Oh, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce apparently did get married, but Cutie Cinderella said until she sees a photo of her anywhere near Madison Square Garden, she won't believe it. And you know what? I agree. I had faith in Taylor. I had faith that she couldn't resist, and I left him at the altar moment of drama. I really felt that she was not going to walk down that aisle, or that she would get to the aisle and be like, I'm sorry, I can't do this, and sprint through the aisles or whatever. But then they put out that Just Married with the TNT, which again, tackiest shit I've seen. This is, I don't care that it looks stunning inside. The venue is still the venue. You're a billionaire, actually. Like, don't piss me off. I will sit with the Gaylor crazies when she actually married Carly as Travis watched. That'd be so funny. A sequel to Love Story. I swear to God, if there's actual footage from her wedding in the music video for whatever song she releases next, or in the tour footage, I'm gonna lose my shit. I feel bad for those since it got their weekend upended by a celebrity wedding. Yeah, it's literally like, oh, we want a private wedding, but it's in the busiest city in the world, one of the busiest cities in the world, in the most densely packed neighborhood on the busiest weekend of the year. Like, what are we doing? Independence Day. Let's see. She did it on July 4th just to concentrate the tacky vibes. Same weekend. Stop showing me him. You did see the giant filming sign. Ugh. Irritated. Let's see. My Twitter is still all Valco stuff. I'm still part of the conspiracy that this is some elaborate hoax. Again, I just think she can't resist the drama of an album about how choosing yourself, even down to the wire, running out, leaving him at the altar. I think she can't resist that. Sorry, I hear a noise. Hold on. Sorry, it sounded like water was dripping, and I was like, where the fuck could that be coming from? And Hermes is up here, so I was like, it's not him drinking water. I don't know what it was. spitballing for funsies. Also, I mean, a hoax wedding would be the funniest thing she's ever done. So, if she wanted to be interesting, she would do a hoax. Frankly. Yeah, I think only the Gaylors want a hoax wedding. I just think that if she was a real showman, she would orchestrate a fake wedding. So. Also, I grabbed these at the store today. So these are the Kool-Aid drink things. And I got them because I wanted a drink that wasn't soda because I didn't want carbonation. I didn't just want juice. And then I was like, wait, I'm an adult. I can buy what I want. And these are 20 calories. Yes, I'm counting calories. I gained 20 pounds. So. Oh, shit. I need to write that thought down. Or the altar. Sorry, hang on. Yep. Let's see. Let's see. Do we want to do video time today? I'm still scrolling to see if there's anything on what's okay. Anime Expo. If there's anything I missed talking about. Let's see. I miss someone talk. Yeah, I was irritated by it. I'm starting a rumor that Mercedes switched Kimmy and George's cars. God, it's been almost 2 hours. How long did I talk about convention orgies? Oh my goodness. At least 45 minutes, dear God. No, he just had a bunch of brake issues and control issues. He lost the whole front end of the car at one point. And he finished the race, shockingly, you know, got a track limits, but it was just like, it made no sense. And then someone on Twitter tried to tell me that, or on TikTok tried to tell me that, well, no, George had the slow puncture. He had issues too. A slow puncture is debris. It's not literal mechanical failure that was happening to Kimmy. Sorry, I'm just looking at stuff. He'll stay with them this season, but next season he will be leaving 100%. His manager basically said as much. Said they feel home at Red Bull, but Max was not made to race at the middle of the pack. So they will 100% be leaving. I'm assuming, apparently George tried to activate his 1-in-1 clause with Mercedes. I don't know if they'll confirm that, because they can also deny him. I believe it's either or. So we shall see. Let's see. Okay, we have your options, should you choose to accept them for videos wise. We have, where did these videos come from Chilling Scares. It's like internet videos, and where did they come from? Some of them we've definitely seen, but it looks like they're doing the Catacombs video, which we have talked about before. There's also Finding an Apartment in Ancient Rome. That's a 9-minute video. We have, what else? We have, okay, these are all boring. Hold on. Let's see. Oh, we have the Terrifying New Gangs of Japan. Those are your 3 options to start. Yeah, I don't know if they ever even showed the replay of what happened with Liam and Oscar. There's a woman in the mask on the front of the page. It's only 8 minutes long, so. Also, I went to Kinokuniya yesterday, and then I went to another Kinokuniya because I'm annoying. Because I didn't realize one was nearby what we call the Cursed Jollibee. We will not be returning to Cursed Jollibee. It was less cursed this time. They did make it better. We wanted to try the new chicken nuggets at Jollibee. They're fine. They're like bits. They're not nuggets, which is fine. But I didn't realize, because I took the metro. The metro is across the street from Cursed Jollibee. So I was taking the metro, and downstairs across from the metro is where they have like the pop-up Kinokuniya, which I didn't realize it was down there. So I went inside, and it's really tiny. It's baby store. But I was walking around, and I bought a couple of books, including one that is, I believe it's called Confessions of a Yakuza. And it was republished with like a bunch of new chapters recently, I believe. But it's like a memoir from someone who left the Yakuza life and then wrote about it. And so I will be reading that at some point. But I thought that was relevant. Did I fix the audio on this already? Hold on. I did not. There we go. Okay, I have no idea what we're walking into.
After. The year before that is when the viral broad daylight smash and grab at the Rolex.
So I have watched videos, sorry, pausing it already. I have watched videos talking about how the Yakuza are actually dying out in Japan. Don't know how true it is. But basically, Yakuza is like old school crime, okay? Very prevalent at the time. However, so much of life has become very digital, and a lot of them are not keen on adapting the cybercrime side of gang life and mafia life for the Yakuza and things like that. So it kind of makes it so that a lot of them are dying out. Also, younger recruits don't want to go through like the hierarchy of the Yakuza, and they don't need to because they can just do crime on their own now. The digital age really made it so that we could diversify our crime syndicates, and also make it so that it can be once again, a one-man operation. It doesn't need to be the protection of the Yakuza. So, don't know how accurate this is. Wouldn't be surprising, just because I do think there is one big part of, obviously, a lot of gang life here in the United States comes to a lot of young recruitment for community at the start, but then also, like, if your family can't eat and someone is telling you, hey, if you run these drugs, we'll give you money to feed your family, like, it's hard to turn that away. But there's less of a prevalence of that in Japan, is my understanding. It made me so mad, and he only missed the points. Well, he got the broken front wing and never explained it. Yeah, so, like, it would make sense to me for the Yakuza, but again, it's something I'm still learning about.
Store took place, looking more like a scene from LA instead of a luxury shopping district in Tokyo. And they stole 74 Rolexes from this shop in Ginza, worth just over $1 million. Then, in a 2-year span from the summer of 2021 to October
300 million yen. I need you guys to understand how crazy that is in the context of Japan with their current economy. Forget the exchange rate. Like, that's psychotic amounts of money.
23, around 50 robberies, thefts, and other crimes, including murder, were all attributed to a gang that outsources their crime through a network of young Japanese men and women recruited through what is known as yamibaito, or dark part-time jobs. And these posts aren't all coming from one group. In October 2024, a home invasion robbery that turned into a murder was committed by Mizuki Takarada, who said he was looking for a part-time job and applied through what he...
Sorry, 1 second. Jas, it's the questioning what I'm saying and things like that again and again. And again, as across the board with anyone in chat, if you get timed out or anything like that for any reason, and you come back and argue with my mods, I'm gonna turbo ban you. Like, that's just how this works. I'm very clear about that.
Thought was a legal position until he arrived to meet the boss, who he claimed to be an intimidating criminal mastermind, and he was scared that if he rejected the job, his family would be in danger, although he could have just been saying this to get out of trouble. A 30-year-old woman was also involved in moving the stolen cash from this job.
I really think people underestimate the power and, like, especially in Japan, when you know that there are people being paid off by various gangs, or at least that's what you've been raised to, been told. Certain areas, certain cities, like, there's definitely certain cities in the United States where it's like most neighborhoods are under like some type of control, there's plenty of gangs here in LA in various neighborhoods, and so, like, yeah, there's definitely people on the take, at least here we've got a lot of dirty cops. So Um, yeah, hey, we will harm your family. If you've been around any type of gang violence ever in your life, that's not an idle threat. You know, if you've had a friend, you know, like yeah, we'll harm you again. I so you could just be saying it to get out of being in trouble. Sure, but also I think it's a very real threat that is very prevalent. Yeah, if your parents have, exactly, like for example, okay, I personally have never had like an actual negative experience with anyone in Scientology. My father has, which is why he has rules for me. The only rule for my content, even when I was a minor, now it's just kind of ingrained. I'm not allowed to make any content about Scientology, negative, positive, otherwise, because he is so terrified about them coming after me, because he has witnessed incidences of them going after people. Okay, so like that's ingrained in learned behavior. That's a very real thing.
Prosecutors say an unknown suspect ordered Takarada to
It
leave the
was
money in a
frequently a real
specific
threat.
location.
Yeah, and again, it's like you do your friend, like I said, like here in the United States, like I said, like you do something where it's like your friend telling you, like, hey, you just have to help me just go with me to this place to pick up this stuff, and then like I can help you with dinner tonight, you know, or I can help make sure you've got food for your family, you know, I can help you with this, you know. You do that once or twice thinking you're helping out a friend, and then suddenly someone else shows up and it's like, hey, well, you've already done it for us, you know. Well, you're already involved. What do you think that was? You think you were getting paid all that money to run candy? No. No. Now we know where you live. So why don't you do these other things for us too now? You know. That's one way, you know, they can get you into it. There's other times where kids literally walk up. I'm tough as fuck. I want to be in the gang. You know, like there's plenty of things. Scary shit to get people in line. Here in LA, my brother-in-law got threatened to join a gang or they'd hurt his family in high school, but thankfully he told his parents in time and they got him transferred to a new school. Yeah. It's a documented thing. Also, the same rules about Scientology for the same reason as your dad. It was awful. He was scared to go to school for weeks until his mom finally got him to talk to her. Damn. Your family, children recognize us as friends of the family. Yeah. Yeah, because again, it's like you start as like friends, buddy, you're bringing them around. Yeah, man, just come by and pick it up. I've got the stuff. Oh, I was going to bring it to your house. You didn't have to come here. Here you go. Yeah. Oh, hey, little Tommy, what you doing? You know, like, I'm a friend of your dad's. I'm a friend of your big brother. You need to ride home from school, right? You don't want to walk. You know, like it's not... You do have to be, especially with family. Like, I just think it's just a slippery slope of it all. Crime is not a one-time stop, especially anything organized. Anything organized. It's not a one-time thing. Never is.
That's when the woman was told by the same unknown suspect that there was an envelope with 118,000 yen in a public restroom at a park and that she needed to move it. But she claims she didn't even know where the money had come from. Also, back at the house that was now a crime scene, police found the fingerprints of a man suspected in another home invasion robbery, as well as a kidnapping and robbery. And that was a crime he committed as part of another group, with this one being a crime syndicate known as Luffy, whose leaders operate in the Philippines to avoid arrest. And they've been blamed for about 50 of these robberies. And all of this is important.
Sorry, the concept of drop shipping crime is insane to me. Oh no, I live in another country, but everything is being done here. And then I get the money. Is that not crime drop shipping? Am I wrong?
Because Japan is experiencing a new type of crime wave. With the Yakuza aging and slowly disappearing from major criminal activity outside of fraud, it seems that the younger generation...
Outside of fraud? It's the fun one anyway.
...figured out that the Yakuza's organization may have been what led to their decline. So today, we have a situation in Japan where essentially anyone with enough money and ill intent can post these dark part-time jobs and get it done, with teams being put together of people that don't even know each other. Everyone's just in it for the money.
God, this is so dangerous too, especially here in the United States with how broke everyone is. Like, there's definitely things like this that happen as well, where you think you're just doing a job, you're doing a run, whatever. Oh, I'm doing a ghost shopping thing, and instead you're actually shoplifting. You know, like
Money.
everyone's so
The
broke.
first example with the woman who took over her father's company, that was organized by her and her husband. And to get the job done, they assembled a team including a man who knew her parents, a construction worker, a child actor who had apparently gone broke, and another man from South Korea whose main responsibility was to torch the bodies and destroy any forensic evidence. It's believed that some dispute took place between the father and his daughter's husband about business, and this led to the whole murder plot. The South Korean man who was recruited claimed he never even saw the face of the man who hired him. But with the loose organization of these new groups as part of this Yamibaito crime wave, the police have coined the term Tokoryu. And these crimes I've mentioned so far all took place in the area of Tokyo and Yokohama. But there are slightly more organized groups, such as one located in Nagoya, about a 4.5 hour drive from Tokyo, called Blackout. And these guys really came on the police radar after a large group of them stormed into a condo with weapons to attack members of another group, which means that because of the loose organization, it's possible that the guys sent in for the job probably don't even know any of the guys they attacked, or vice versa. Maybe the guys at the condo that got attacked were only there performing a job they had also been paid for. People are
In theory, God, there's so many cameras all over the place these days. In theory, this would be a way to do it. I am not encouraging crime. I am simply talking about crime shows. It's a common trope in a lot of crime shows to do like a murder swap or like a random swap, basically. Like, you get someone to keep your hands clean, or because the first thing they do is check enemies, check family, things like that. You and someone else who both need someone taken care of, you swap. Because they're not going to check you. Why would they? You're a rando, you know? So, like, I can see why there's probably so many of these incidences that actually succeed, and everyone just walks away and they're like, oh, I got my money, yay. Or they probably never get their money. I'm curious about if anyone has shown up to report, like, oh, I was framed, like, or not framed, I was ripped off, I did this job, I did this thing, and I never got paid. I want to report this person, I want to report this internet listing. And I wonder how many of those get reported. I don't know if any would, but like that would be interesting. Or if they realize that they did a crime, you know. Murder swap.
are being recruited from social media posts. And despite the man in the home invasion robbery claiming the job post was misleading, most of it seems intentional. And it seems that the wealthy people who post these jobs are taking advantage of the pressure put on young people in Japan to be successful. And a lot of them are actually getting away with it. Over 10,000 people were arrested in 2024 related to these criminal cases. But only about 10% of those arrested were...
So when I did my ghost tour, we were walking through the bamboo forest. We passed by a house and they made a joke about, like, this is where they filmed the outside shots of Parasite. It's not where they filmed the outside shots of Parasite, but it does look like the house from the outside, okay? And what it actually is they walked us further along, and it's like, this is a compound of a man that makes people disappear. Not like murder, i.e. he helps them basically burn their identities and get them new ones, which can be a very lucrative industry in a place like Japan, where debt's common, shame is common, stigma. They talked a lot about a lot of people that are gay, there's no acceptance, so they decide to flee, and so they burn their identities and get new ones so they can leave or go somewhere else. And, you know, the cost of what that would be. So I'm not shocked that there's a lot of people that are funding these crimes, you know, is my point. And not to say that that person is doing anything particularly illegal, you know. They typically get busted for something else and spill on everything and everyone to get a deal. Being double-crossed typically just ends in death, not snitching, yeah. I have family who have had experience with hitmen, receiving not famous, just how a shitty person, gotcha. And over half people hired against them took the money and didn't do shit. Yeah, hitmen are not... They're not real, you know, like hitmen are not particularly real. hired guns or like the hitman for like the mob or something, like a designated person within an organization that is designed to be the cleanup guy, that is real. But like a hitman for hire is not super real. You know, there's definitely assassins, i.e., like someone on a government payroll or for an organization that is like, hey, you're supposed to shut the fuck up and get it done. Mercenaries are also real. So it kind of depends. But like the definition of like, can I as a random civilian go and buy a hitman? Really not real. I'd have better luck going and finding someone that I think is a loser that might be in love with me to free me from a situation. You know, like that would be my play, frankly. I don't plan on doing that, which is what I'm telling you. But, you know, like that's the move. They aren't bald professionals getting paid millions. They are typically just normal shooters for a larger criminal org. No, and I'm not saying that they're paid millions. I just mean like there are plenty of like former military and people that like get into a job and they're like, yeah, just tell me where to shoot and I got you, you know. Give me are they making millions? Probably not. A few grand, maybe. See, and that's the thing. Like, I would want to know what my total would be. You know, like, am I an 8K? And am I a 30? You know, am I a 3? You know, like, what is my life worth in Hitman terms? I am curious. Assassin terms. New side hustle idea poses as Hitman to take money from horrible people. That is a thing that happens. That's very common on the dark web. The dark web. Unfortunately, decades ago, it happened to my family. A random citizen could, in fact, go online and hire some hitmen. Again, it's not like I hear you, it's just not. I also do think this is geographically based as well, because obviously certain countries with more organized crime that is more prevalent, you could argue that there's probably more people looking to freelance on the side. Here in the United States, because everything is so intermixed, so much digital tracking, etc., it's less like that, you know? True, biker gang. Yeah, but I feel like it's less like a hit and more like a, hey, can you beat the living fuck out of them if they happen to die? Cool, you know? Why would they find out about the money? It's just a random person on the internet. Oh, I see. And you're posing and reporting them. Yeah, no, they take that fucking money. You don't tell the
Believed
cops
to have
shit.
been ringleaders. And this led to the National Police making plans to use AI to analyze information and try to identify these ringleaders.
You can also try lying, like you report, hey, I'm sorry, someone's trying to get me to kill someone. Here's everything I have. That's all. You can do it anonymously. Or you can just pretend you never got the money, and then, because that dude's not going to admit he gave you money. Why would he admit that?
Ringleaders, which in other words means the Japanese police have no idea who's putting these small groups together, probably because there are so many of them, and the people going in to actually commit the crime often have zero connection to each other or the boss. But then, in 2025, the police in Japan were trying to arrest members of another criminal group known as Natural.
Because where can
and
you get a more
according
competitive rate, lol? Well, if someone, so like I said, mercenaries are real. So that's typically, they operate in war times. So those are typically people that are, my understanding, discharged. Hey, we need this done. Our government can't do it. Their government can't do it. We're going to give you money to do it. It's a wartime profession to be a mercenary. Everything else. So it depends, you know, like it's kind of like, for example, with spies, okay? To be a spy as in the United States as an American, okay? I'm probably not going to be paid a lot, even if my life is at risk, okay? If I'm actively going into bad situations. However, if I was a foreign asset, i.e., let's say hypothetically, a Russian doing something and I turn and I become an intelligent asset to the United States and I'm giving them information, my life is in significantly more danger, I could be killed, they're going to make sure I'm compensated accordingly. And they've openly talked about that. So like it's kind of in that. I think again it depends, you know. Security contractors are mercenaries, yes. Also does stings via listings for things like that, where the person hires them. That's conspiracy too, or attempted. Sounds comic book, but can't say does happen. Yeah, no, a bunch of I survive stories and things like that involve stories of like hiring a hitman or things like that. There's been instances of true crime cases where a husband or wife did hire a hitman or tried to, and obviously nothing happened, and so they then do it anyway. And either someone reported it like, hey, they tried to hire me, or they just found out that they tried to hire someone and got robbed, you know? So, or screwed over. So, like, there are the risk, the concern is that they're going to get bored and do it themselves, or get impatient and do it themselves. You also have to know people. If you just randomly go up to some gang member and ask to have someone killed, they aren't going to take you seriously. Yeah.
One of the oldest news outlets in Asia, Natural is one of the largest scouting groups in Japan for sex workers, which is kinda illegal to do in Japan, but it's probably better if a lawyer explains that part to you. But they were under investigation over a brawl that allegedly took place between them and another syndicate, as well as suspicion that some of the women they scouted were being victimized. And for some reason, whenever the time came to arrest a member of Natural, the police were always too late, and this made them suspect that they must have a mole inside the department that was tipping off the group. And of course, they did. Investigators discovered that the officer in charge of the investigation into Natural was in fact the one tipping them off. His house was then raided, where police found 9 million yen he received in bribes because Natural makes a lot of money and apparently has over 1,000 members. But with the landscape changing so fast in Japan, they weren't even on the police radar until a video went viral in 2020 of Natural members jumping somebody. And some groups, like the one police accused Natural of feuding with, are affiliated with some Yakuza groups, but they are completely separate. And also, despite police knowing that groups like this communicate on social media like Twitter and Telegram, the use of message encrypting apps that auto-delete and international calls make it difficult for police to track down these conversations. And the international calls come in due to some...
That's what I'm saying. They're not real in that sense. Like the pop culture hitman that a lot of people think of doesn't actually exist, especially not for a random. Thank you for following. It's for civilians. It's not something you can access, you know, like Omen said, like you gotta have a network, you gotta have contacts, you know, I can have someone take care of that for you. If you're a woman, you're better off going to a shady dive bar and looking sad at the bar. You're like dead ass. I'm not encouraging you to do shit. Don't kill people, okay? But like that, you might as well just go and do that. Someone's gonna sidle up. They'll know someone who knows someone, you know? It's crazy. Ex-wife tried to hire a hitman to kill him and got ripped off, thankfully. No, that's not... So Aaron Goodwin's, oh no, that one, yes, sorry. I thought you were talking about Ghost Adventures guy. She tried to hire a guy who was in jail, Ghost Adventures guy. Aaron Goodwin. No, yeah, him. No, it wasn't she was trying to get, the guy, I know that case, actually. Sorry, I think we were talking about the guy in the band whose literal, baby mama literally just tried to hire a hitman on him. It keeps happening, and they're always famous. See, notice that's the famous women doing dumb shit. Gotta be smarter, ladies. What are we doing? Don't be dumb. Also, why are we hiring hitmen? You know? So the case was she was having a intimate, like, digital relationship with this man. And he is a guy, I remember this case very distinctly. He murdered his whole family to get money to continue his relationship with an e-girl, like an internet webcam artist. And she was never identified, nor should she have to be. She did no idea, the webcam girl. But he murdered his whole family over that, and has been, I believe, his life in jail. And so they were having a relationship, and I think either he was going to try and get furlough and do it, or he was trying to find someone to do it, and they found out about it because everything was monitored. I believe he maybe asked his cellmate who was going to get out or something. Something like that came out, but that's how they cracked it down. And they went to Aaron while they were filming. will slide for you. Obviously, that comes with the disadvantages of having a gang boyfriend. Yeah. Lay dying also tried to hire a hitman to kill his wife. He is still in the band, and they still tour after he did like 4 years. That's psychotic. That's crazy. See, at a certain point, you got to be like, hey, that feels like creative differences. That feels like a really good reason to like remove him from a band for creative differences, but that's just me.
Some of the leaders choosing to live in other Asian countries to avoid arrest in Japan, such as the group Luffy that I mentioned earlier, whose leaders moved from Japan to the Philippines since the two countries don't actually have an extradition treaty, even though that doesn't mean they won't extradite you. But in 2023, when 4 men accused of orchestrating
Yeah, no extradition treaty, by the way, chat, just means that, like, the government is not going to agree to, like, ship you out. However, if they think that, like, you are a big enough threat, they will not let you stay. Like, you can still be deported. You can still be kicked out. You can still be jailed in that country. Sometimes countries just really don't want to help the U.S. in particular for our, like, they don't like us. There's also cultural differences and things like that. It just means they're not going to let you come in and arrest them. Come pick them up. You know, hey, it's a little far. We're not going to come get you. We're not going to ship you back. You know, doesn't mean you still can't get kicked out or jailed in that country. So keep that in mind. Don't do crime, but also be smart.
robberies in Japan were arrested in the Philippines. They were deported back to Japan where they would face charges. They also were accused of orchestrating another home invasion that turned into a murder, where the perpetrator, disguised as a delivery man, entered the house, attacked the homeowner, and stole several items.
Jesus.
And that seems to be one of the main flaws in organizing crime like this. Recruiting random people on the internet to commit major crime seems like the perfect formula for a sloppy job.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the opening scene from The Dark Knight, where the Joker set up a bunch of thieves who didn't know each other to rob a bank, and they all ended up killing each other until only one was left, the Joker. And when these thieves get arrested in Japan, sent to face harsh penalties, most of the people orchestrating and paying for this crime end up being the only ones standing to benefit. The group Luffy alone was accused of 50 robberies in 2 years, with 60 people being arrested in these cases.
Deported
and authorities
from
also
the Philippines to Japan. Right there. Still can be deported, and it's like, okay, well, where are we putting you? Back to the country you did the crime. Yeah.
Be confused if Luffy is working with another group called Kim, but there also seems to be confusion on if this is just another name for the group. Natural appears to have a stranglehold on the adult entertainment industry, reportedly making about 4 million yen or 25 million US dollars from referral fees alone in 1 year. And in November 2025, the Prime Minister said that sex tourism in the country is only increasing. Violence involving these groups is not very common, since most are just money-making operations. But of course, it can go from a smash and grab to tying somebody up and robbing their house. Either way, it's a growing problem that the police are working very hard to solve. They understood the organizational structure of the Yakuza very well, but crime always adapts. And now, it seems the entire structure has been cut out for the new generation to avoid detection. But in the end, everyone involved in taking a job is just disposable. For a quick payment, they get into possibly the worst high-risk, high-reward situation ever, as the prospect of being imprisoned in Japan is probably among the worst for a first world country. And I'm sure that some of you guys watching already knew about this, but many of you, like me, are only just now hearing about them recently. But like most crime in Japan, it's very mysterious, and as of now, the police are reportedly trying to...
It doesn't sound mysterious, it sounds mysterious because you don't know who the leaders are, but like the actual crimes themselves are pretty in the open. And I mean, the answer seemingly would be you monitoring these sites as early as possible so that you are finding out where the job listings are going beforehand. Now, that's obviously not easier. It's easier said than done. But like you're trying to deal with a crime after the crime has happened and the crime is committed with randoms. That's not a recipe for solving something or catching people, you know?
To adapt and adopt new tactics to take these groups down from the top. But maybe it won't be that simple, and that method may be a little outdated, because you take down one leader, there's always going to be someone else with enough money and ill intent, as the structure in a loose organization like this wouldn't even rely on the leader, or necessarily fear. It appears to be driven mostly by money, which is definitely the most corrupting force on Earth. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Okay.
Thank you for...
There is a Bizarre Bub video that's from 2 days ago. We're going to watch that in a second, but I do want to see if there was any other... Oh, we also have the Gen. Never mind. We're watching the Gen Z
So
gangs in
here
South
we have
Korea.
some Russians
We're diversifying our gangs, chat.
attacking some other Russians in a car, which is strange because this is in South Korea. This is a gang known for attacking people who try to sell drugs in their area. This is a kidnapping that was part of a murder for hire in Gangnam, the most expensive district in Seoul.
Shit.
And this is the second of 2 giant gang brawls in the same neighborhood in the South Korean city called Busan. And that was in 2024. In April 2025, police in Incheon, South Korea, arrested 97 people associated
Guys,
with
are we
4
doing a gang stream? We did an orgy stream, and now we're doing a
different
gang
gangs. And immediately I was thinking, what? 97? 4 different gangs in South Korea? Not to mention the fact that South Korea has also been quietly going through its own sort of low-key drug war, as according to the Korean Coast Guard, a Canadian gang, ironically called the United Nations, has been drug trafficking to other gangs in South Korea. And the packages they send over to South Korea are so bold that they're even branded. And in the capital of South Korea, Seoul, another gang is giving out loans with 30 to 1,500% interest. And if you don't pay it back, well, the late fee is that they'll sell your girlfriend. And I don't even want to know what happens if you don't have one. One lady in Seoul actually couldn't pay back the loan she took out, so these guys popped up at her girlfriend's parents' house to get her location. And they totally would have sold her if they didn't get tipped off that the police were launching an investigation into them, so they went into hiding. But all of these are part of a new generation of organized crime in South Korea. And there are many, many different gangs, but the police refer to them as MZ gangs. MZ standing for Millennials and Gen Z, since both generations make up the majority of these gangs, with the Millennials.
Guys, even our gangs aren't taken seriously. We really live on an ageist planet, and we should say it more often. The ageism here is crazy. Because you know what? We're criminals too.
Being the guys in their late 20s and early 30s, most likely giving direction to the younger Gen Z guys, some of which probably being their younger siblings or cousins. And in addition to fighting, extortion, and stealing expensive items, such as when guys in one gang
I want to make it again. I want to make it clear. I'm kidding, but this is serious. Don't do crime. Don't join a gang for funsies.
Robbed another gang member for his $80,000 watch. They also run very extensive schemes.
I'd steal your watch too. Damn, I'm kidding.
Like fake lottery websites, credit card fraud, and crypto scams. And apparently this new generation really likes whiskey. I mean, this is a clip from the news when some limited edition whiskey sold out in 10 minutes. And they do get wild. I mean, one guy bust a bottle on his head.
What do you mean a limited edition whiskey? What?
Went to the hospital, then proceeded to threaten the medical staff, flash his gang tattoos, and break the front door. This is not
okay, that's a lot. Why are we doing all that? That's too much.
Not exactly the South Korea that we're familiar with, at least here in the West. Because outside of Asia, all we ever hear about is the plastic surgery, K-pop scandals, and the crazy pressure put on kids to excel in school to get into the correct university, which can land them a job at one of the companies run by the families that actually run South Korea. We hear so much about that the more traditional and organized crime is overlooked. But of course, the societal pressure and the mere existence of these untouchable families that can pretty much do whatever they want because they run the biggest companies, this might actually play a role in young people wanting to live outside of the law and maybe be the master of their own destiny. Although in a very flawed way that'll most likely just land them in prison. Authorities in South Korea say that some groups are not organized but only temporarily formed by gang members based around committing a certain crime, and the group is dissolved once the job is done. Although this doesn't account for all criminal organizations in South Korea. And most likely, as in Japan, it's just a way to throw off police while they try to find a specific organization to blame for a crime. Now, how some of these guys get caught is pretty funny, because I'm sure that we're all familiar with bowing. It's a traditional greeting and sign of respect in much of East Asia, but apparently the way the MZ gangs do it is what sometimes causes them to stand out to authorities. Like this group of guys. One guy walks up and bows and accepts what looks like a present, and this looked pretty suspicious to the police, and it's actually...
Yeah, why the fuck are you not checking that the cops are right I'm sorry. Are they stupid? Again, I'm not encouraging crime, but if you're gonna do it, don't be an idiot. That's really all I ask. I'm consistent on that fact. I ask that if you're going to do crime, you be smart about it. And I don't think that's much to ask.
Made a cop approach them only to find out that one guy actually had active warrants. And believe it or not, the information that I learned for this video actually came about as I was looking into Taiwan. I came across this video of a huge elaborate funeral for a gang leader in Taiwan, and I thought, wow.
Oh, that's cunt. Sorry. I love a super dramatic funeral. I really do. I have plans for mine, and I won't even be there. Not really. I'll be hiding in the rafters, you know? But like I do love a big funeral. I think it's very fascinating.
Oh, this looks almost like a state parade. And going down this rabbit hole of organized crime in East Asia, I ended up in South Korea, where I kept coming across
How
strange
to do crime
information.
smart?
Like a guy.
That sounds like a great way to get put on a watch list or eight. International Interpol would put me on their watch list. I'd be on international watch lists.
Breaking into the house of a deceased K-pop star, which many suspect was just to steal a phone that contained evidence of a huge sex scandal where K-pop stars and other Korean celebrities were illegally recording sexual acts they received from women. They were drug trafficking, with some of the women involved even being drugged, all in a nightclub called the Burning Sun in the famous Gangnam area of Seoul. And then I came across one of the biggest YouTubers in South Korea being abused and blackmailed by other big YouTubers and women known as cyber wreckers, which are people who will conduct a private investigation into you, gather all of your embarrassing secrets, and expose you unless you pay them, which is apparently a pretty organized.
I'm exposing myself to protect myself from cyber wreckers. Yes, I did post in feed on Instagram an in memoriam post of Wally West when he died on Young Avengers. I mean, Young Justice, Young Avengers, Young Justice. I did genuinely, earnestly make an in memoriam post for a fictional character, Wally West. I was devastated. I did cry. I ran an Instagram page that was a roleplay page under the name Mala Golka, where I was pretending to be a waterbender from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It was a waterbender, water tribe roleplay page. No, there was nothing else about it. I did not culturally appropriate anything other than the name. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's like would be like embarrassing. My mom's an alcoholic, but like that's public record at this point. Who gives a fuck? It makes me funnier. I was a Girl Scout for 12 years. There's probably some bad cookie selling photos out there. Just me being awkward. Oh, one time while I was working a grocery store shift, that's where you just sit outside at a table with the cookies. Someone has to do that. I did that. I thought it'd be fun to just speak with a British accent the whole time. Did it have an impact on cookie sales? I don't think so. But I did do that. So yeah, I think that's enough. It no longer exists. The Malagolka account. Don't do or get involved with things you'd be embarrassed by and you can't be blackmailed. Exactly. No, I'll never forget. Because I do actually, like at the time, I feel like I, because of my anxiety, I do feel shame. So like being canceled only works if you feel shame. And so I was like, God, I do feel like being canceled, like it would work on me. Cause like I would just be like, fuck, I guess I'm done with this, you know, whatever. And my manager at the time was like, he like looked at me. He was like, I feel like I know you well enough. I don't think anything of note would come out that would get you canceled. Therefore, it would be a stupid thing that they tried to cancel you over. And therefore, I would not allow you to like stop posting in shame. And I'm like, you know what? Fair and valid. They find the fanfic. Oh yeah, I used to write fan fiction on the Nickelodeon message boards. I wrote crossover fanfic. I did House of Anubis fan fiction. I did a crossover fanfic of Percy Jackson and the Olympians and My Babysitter's a Vampire. I did that. What else? I tried to write Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan fiction. I kind of gave up on it. I don't think I ever posted it anywhere. Yeah. No, he was like, I feel like I would figure out by now if you were racist or not, is what he was saying. My old manager was black. I feel this is relevant. He was like, I really don't think anything's going to come out about you. I feel like I have a very good understanding of your character. He's like, the concerning thing would be that, and I don't think there's any, I've never gotten the indication that you've ever said that, so I think we're good. I know, I swear to God, if that one guy, Malachi, is on that show, though, because they don't know how to cast any other teenage boys, I'm not watching it. Crossover fanfic was so good. This is why Bloody Mary gives me so much hope. Nature's healing. There's an Oron fanfiction I abandoned 15 years ago, and I feel bad for anyone who was invested in it. Oh, he did call you square, but respectfully. He said, I don't think you're racist.
As crime in South Korea, and huge gang arrests that led me to other crimes such as a pattern of robberies, assaults, and arrests that centered on a new wave of criminal activity that is taking place not only in South Korea, but in multiple countries in East Asia. And this even led me to the so-called cute rap in China, which is essentially drill music, but with young Asian girls rapping it. There's a female rapper in this genre that put an AI-generated King Von in her music video. She said she had a dream about Von, which made her start rapping in his voice, and I know most of you guys probably can't read this, but I'm pretty sure it says something like, "Lil dumbass, better not let me catch you." These are the lyrics from her song.
Okay. Grah! Pow pow. Wearing a childlike cat ear watch, you're so sassy, yeah. Talking behind my back, you little... that seems like a bad word. That seems... What is that in reference to? I'm not saying that. Don't let me catch you. Yeah, yeah. Come and talk about me. I'll just pretend I was bitten by a dog, eh? What kind of rap is this? Come over here and talk to me. Pow, pow. Sitting in the living room, I asked for a phone call for an hour. Yesterday, in your mouth, I said, you've been playing games a lot. I'll give you an elbow strike and tell you to explain your face to your face. That you didn't reply to my messages yesterday. You idiot. You don't have any money. So you never told your baby when you sleep. What? Your songs don't earn any tickets. You've taken too many drugs so the baby can't pee. Wait, is the baby the penis? What is this? Oh, if you hold your baby when you sleep, is that the penis? Is baby penis? Need this as a short, sparkly at a beat. I wouldn't say that out loud. Okay, good. I love slam poetry. In your mouth, gotta be an innuendo. Oh, okay. Wait. Tonight I'll hold your wife to sleep. Let me tell you, listening to your songs is not as good as watching Blue Lock Season 2. Did Blue Lock Season 2? The soccer anime? I'm crying. I do feel like if we translated a lot of K-pop just into straight English, this is what a lot of them would sound like. That's the thing.
The song is called Playful Cat.
You little sissies. Don't come and touch my... Oh, that seems like this is being homophobic, no? Because sissies could also be a reference to gay people. And this is implying that they touch little boys, right? Right? Okay. We're speed running a lot of things here. You little brats have been doing this for years, and yesterday you still haven't made it. On the surface you're doing well, but you're all hating me. Ha, okay, that doesn't... Hey, I'm doing well on the surface. I really don't... You could be a psycho. I don't know, I could hate you regardless. Slang for penis in China? We're not in China. I don't think. Well, we thought baby was slang for penis here. During the Great Migration in South Africa, you should be tied to the ground and let the elephants give you a back massage. Grandpa, let me give you a back massage. Fuck you. What? Is this the Chinese girl rapper? I don't know.
Ear watch or something like that, but the lyrics are pretty vicious. I mean, these translations might be a little rough, but yeah. Anyway, she's not in South Korea, she's in Chengdu, China. The South Korean police, according to an indictment, listed the name of multiple criminal organizations, and it appears to be associated with the location they operate in, like Kanseyo Shikupa and Juan Shikupa. Both of these gangs share the name of train stations in the city of Incheon, as well as Bopyeong Shikupa, most likely named after a district of the same name in the same city. While the other word, Shikupa...
So the Great Migration, for those who don't know, is when all the animals literally migrate across the desert. So the Great Migration led an elephant give you a back massage is literally saying, we're going to tie you to the ground so you'll get trampled to death during the Great Migration. Not even during a stampede, they're just all migrating.
Is likely another term for the word
There
kangpan,
can be
which
stampeding,
means
but
gangster.
still.
They also use the word jopok. And some of these groups are traditional mafia types, wearing suits and extorting people. But
See, I just like the suit thing because I think it's unassuming. Like, especially in countries where, like, the salaryman, which is mostly in Japan, obviously, like, that's so prevalent, the suit style is so disarming. Like, it's like, yeah, you're not standing out because you're expected, you know? Same with certain places in the United States, like certain major cities. If you're wearing a suit, no one's going to think you're attached to organized crime. They're going to think you're going to work. You know, but if you're wearing like street clothes and you're doing shenanigans, you're gonna be looked at. See, no one thinks smart. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing with criminals. I just feel like we should, you know, when you're doing a crime, we should move past the aesthetics, you know, and really think long term about the ramifications of our actions and style choices. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. I understand wearing gang colors, but sometimes you need to get the job done and not wear the gang colors. You know what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Does that make sense? Yeah, don't overdo it with the fedora, you know. Showing up around my town in cargo shorts, lol. Walking around in DC on vacation and seeing people in suits walk into the fucking EPA building like, oh shit, the real city where people work. Yeah. Like, it's like, oh my god, they have shit to do. I need to get out of their way. It's not about the hoodie.
In 2024, police in South Korea arrested more than 3,000 gang members in an effort to stop any one of these groups from becoming too powerful. But a year later, it seems like...
Can I be totally honest? I do think gang tattoos are kind of super funny in concept. Just because it's like, yeah, a lot of times, especially Yakuza, etc., you do need to like actually do shit to get the tattoos. You know, like you have to have done something, you have to be in the shit to be getting the tattoos. And they are super like massive. But like if you are wearing normal clothes or layers or whatever, you can't see them. So it's like, it is kind of like, ooh, secret, you know, the concept of, yeah, unless you know the tattoos, like it's one of the reasons that they go off of tattoos when identifying people that have been in prison, and they take photos. That's why they take photos of people's tattoos in prison and such. But also getting visible tattoos that are gang related, i.e. a lot of tattoos that you might get in prison often are in more visible spots, you know, because they're trying to make it very obvious, because it's a lot of people in prison join gangs for protection. Like the lone wolf thing doesn't work super well unless you're like a big fucking dude, and even then you're definitely getting shivved in the kidneys if you piss off the wrong person. So you get them in a visible spot so it's clear to other people around you, you know, not just when you're getting out, but that's obviously an issue when you're getting out. So secret club, yeah, see, that's funny. Like a friendship bracelet, but even less obvious, you know? Can't you make a deal to let the Yakuza to have your skin after you die in exchange for being allowed to have the tattoos? Is this a dumb rumor I heard? Is that real? I'm looking it up. Hold on. Can I make a deal with the Yakuza? Sounds like a horrible thing to search. Deal with the Yakuza to have my skin if I get the tattoos. No, it's usually dead members have their skin peeled off. Today I learned tattooed skins of hundreds of dead Yakuza members have been peeled off for displays, and some are traded on the black market. Yeah, no, it's you would be part of the Yakuza still. It's like they would agree, and it's like, oh, I'll give you the money if you let me take your skin when you die. Like there's things like that. Still gotta be a member. That is funny because it's only is useful if you're naked around your gang buddies. Well, that's why you see so many photos of like Yakuza like hanging out, smoking, eating in the back room of a ramen shop or something, and they're all shirtless, you know? An extremely unassuming civilian like a crime-related symbol permanently branded on your body, lol. Yeah. You're gonna be on a watch list after this stream, if not already. I feel like I'm on a couple, you know? Yeah, what were we were talking about doing a FOIA summer, like Freedom of Information Act summer. Like I request a bunch of alphabet agencies and see what they have on me. We did think about doing that at one point.
Like it didn't even make a difference, because in 2025 there was another operation where 97 members were arrested all at once, belonging to 4 different organizations. And like some gang members in Japan, some of these
See, I feel like if we bust 97 at one, you gotta hand over the gang card, because like you fumbled somewhere. You fumbled somewhere. How are you guys this bad? 97 members in one night.
guys flee to the Philippines to avoid arrest, although that doesn't work. As in 2024,
I do want to know what Flock has on me.
3 members of a 7-man robbery crew from
Guys, look at my gang, bro. We're going to jail. We're getting robbed. Imagine you're in a gang and you get robbed. I don't know. There's something about this image that's taking me out. Are these? Is this beer or Pepsi? It looks like beer, maybe. I think it's beer.
Seoul were expelled from the Philippines to face charges for a robbery they committed where they stole about $100,000 in cash and valuables. Some groups operate fraud rings in Cambodia, like one gang who was stealing the identities of South Koreans and selling them in Cambodia for about $7,000 per call with the buyers. Although it's unclear which gang these guys were.
I do admit, sometimes I hear crime numbers and I'm like, God, I'd be such a good criminal, you know? I just have that, like I said, that shame, that initial hurdle. Can't get over it. I am a good person. I do hate defrauding people. I feel bad about it. You know, if I had less of a conscience, I'd be a really fun criminal. Fun, bad word for it. But, you know, I'd be really good at it, you know?
Associated with, but it's not all just schemes and robberies, because of course there is much more serious crime. When I saw this video of a woman being abducted in Gangnam, which is in Seoul, I initially thought that it might have been an isolated incident. Maybe she was kidnapped by a stalker. And of the 3 men later arrested for the crime, one of them admitted that he had been following the woman for 2 to 3 months.
Well,
but
yeah.
not for the reason I thought, because these were actually hitmen paid by people who wanted this woman dead over a loss of cryptocurrency. One of the
And what did I say, chat? We don't fuck with the cryptocurrency. I'm telling you, every person that is involved in cryptocurrency often ends up killed, okay? If you defrauded people, if you were involved in crypto and you defrauded people, you better go on the run and keep running. They will find you, they will kill you, okay? There's been like at least 3 or 4 major guys in the last decade that have been found chopped up. And there's multiple people that are still on the run, still missing, that I think are dead, okay? Like that woman that's on the FBI's most wanted list. I think she's fully dead. I don't think she got plastic surgery. I do think she's dead.
Suspects was identified by a witness as ex-military and a former special operative, and that for his part in the kidnapping and murder, he would be paid around $55,000. And while it was easy to find information on these guys since they
I feel like I could get one of you to be like, how does she keep getting away with this? Meanwhile, I'm like literally investing in a Formula One team with my stolen millions. Like I'd be doing something crazy.
Made international news. Due to privacy laws in South Korea, many gang members have their identities hidden and are only referred to.
So a lot of them that end up getting screwed over or cut up are like the multi-millionaire, I'm an investor. They're not the content creator side of things, not really. They did like big shows, they got into the rooms, they got the big money, that type of thing, you know. Logan ripped off most of his audience, which were not big spender types, you know. If one of them gets the balls, maybe, but like they probably aren't going to go after. Once we get into international income and investment, that's where you start seeing like there's a lot of international gangs that and rich people. Like I said, the guy that like, and not to say that this guy's a criminal, but like the guy that makes people disappear. Like there's a lot of people of that scale with a lot of money. Their hands don't need to get dirty. You will be dealt with, you know. I'm definitely a there would be science person.
to in court documents as individual A or B. Like for instance, there was a South Korean YouTuber with about 600,000 subscribers, and he was accused of a multi-million-dollar scam as part of a criminal organization. But I haven't had any luck finding out who this person is.
God, imagine if I do my course, How to Be a Good Instagram Boyfriend, and you guys find out down the line that I was somehow defrauding boyfriends. And that's how it got out. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how it would work with me. Apparently I need more subscribers to be doing defrauding, but we'll see.
Also tend to blur out the faces of those accused in a crime, like this group of so-called MZ gangsters that stole a little over $1 million in a scheme that was so organized they were even holding weekly training sessions. And this group was also led by men who were formerly special forces, which sounds a lot like the Lauzetas cartel.
I'm sorry. You gotta start wearing lifts or something, my guy. I'm so sorry. This mask with the hat, you're kind of killing me.
Cartel in Mexico, which was a very dangerous group led by former Mexican commandos. And there was another case involving a YouTuber which was much more severe and definitely sounds like the work of the one gang that threatened to sell someone's girlfriend over an unpaid debt. Although it could have been another group, but a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers known as Sutak was apparently behind on repayment of some of the money he owed. And unlike the $20 I gave my brother when I was 12, repayment on this money wasn't optional, as 2 guys paid him a visit and lured him to an underground parking garage where they tried to beat him to death, but he survived. But he apparently knew how dangerous these guys was before they showed up, because he informed the police that he felt threatened once he knew they were coming. And this actually led to the attackers being arrested. But of course, if you're watching this channel, then you know the organized crime is nothing new, even in South Korea. It just evolves with each generation. Since the 60s, organized groups have been active in entertainment districts and even associated with politicians. But it hasn't really been that visible in the last 30 years, because in the 90s, when South Korea was becoming more democratic, the government declared a war on crime in 1990 due to several conflicts and murders involving crime families. And this crackdown was so severe that it even led to harsh sentences for pickpockets. And crime has pretty much always been up and down ever since. Like how most of the 90s saw a low homicide rate before it skyrocketed in the 2000s, before dropping off again and rebounding in the mid-2010s when all the millennials were high school to college age. But it must also be taken into account that many murders are attributed to Mojima, which is also referred to as a...
Saying rebounded is funny to me. Like, oh no, well the economy rebound is one thing. The murder rate rebounding is crazy.
Don't ask why case, which is essentially when someone just starts attacking or killing random people out of frustration, either with society or their personal life, which is actually a problem in South Korea. But even though it has a crime rate slightly higher than Japan, it's still one of the safest countries in
Here we call that being a woman.
Asia.
But how can a country so safe, rich, and developed have the biggest mental health crisis in Asia? Japan gets a lot of backlash for its toxic work culture and the cost of its high standard of living, but in South Korea, it's that plus a lot more. I mean, they pretty much perfected a culture of unreal standards, whether it's beauty, with reports of 1 in 5 South Korean women having undergone some type of plastic surgery, and 46% of female college students having done the same thing. You're like 18 when you go into college. I wasn't even sure what my favorite pair of shoes was when I was 18. There are even ghost doctors, unqualified medical staff operating illegal factory-like clinics just to meet the plastic surgery needs of the public. And obviously this has gone wrong many times. And as far as the children, honestly, as a kid, it was confusing enough thinking about what I was going to do with my life. And that's in America, where nobody even cares. You're more likely to be pressured by American society to be an idiot than you are to be successful. And maybe the prospect of being a Korean salaryman isn't that appealing to some young men. Unlike in Japan, however, the people in their 20s and 30s in South Korea have far less loyalty to a company and would happily find another job if it came with a pay raise. Because seniority pretty much runs everything in South Korea, so the younger people are more or less treated as disposable. This was a very brief rundown with some very rough translations, but I hope you guys...
Okay, let's see. Dude. Probably no more crime. Okay, we'll do the Bizarre Bub one. Zarbub. Hermes, can you stop? 3 days ago.
On a Saturday afternoon, a group of house cleaners arrived to a house, unaware that they would
With dating, so I am now thinking the murder rate, going out with people and settling for victims. Hermes! He's taking out on the couch.
encounter something very unsettling while cleaning up this place. The person who lives here had just inherited this property from someone who had a hoarding problem.
Yeah.
Recorded by one of the cleaners, this video was taken just moments before they all started to scream.
Rats?
According to Katie, one of the cleaners, this place was not what it seemed in the photos that were sent by the owner.
She sent some pictures of the house, and judging from the pictures that she sent, like, it didn't look like it was going to be that bad or that hard a job. So I immediately take out my phone and start filming. I want to show our boss how this client totally misrepresented the house.
Little did Katie know that while filming, this would happen. Take a look.
Your favorite Americans. What is that?
Medication.
That's so cute. Ooh. Oh, the smell is so bad. It smells so
Oh my God, what is that?
Flies? Oh, shut the door.
No screaming yet.
Look at Thomas.
There's no screaming.
Oh my God, it's really bad. It actually comes towards us.
I want to hear them start screaming because that was outside recording of them screaming.
What have you gotten us into? Oh my God, really?
Don't move that.
Okay. One of two things is happening. It's remote control. And somewhere else there's a camera. And the whole, hey, this isn't what they told us about, because it sounds like that's their company car. It doesn't sound like the inheritor is there. So they wanted to monitor the situation, but it's a robot, so they're fucking with them. Okay, unlikely, but there's that. The more likely explanation, I think, is clear. House is fucking haunted. Horrible vibes. Unfortunately, hoarder houses often have atrocious vibes. Ghosts love atrocious vibes. Gotta get out. Gotta sage the house. Maybe burn it. Frankly, with the state of things, I think you're better off demoing the property, frankly.
While filming the condition of this house, a ride-on play toy begins to move on its own.
No, with the quality, if you have so many hoarder houses, it's kind of devastating because at a certain point, mold just infects everything. Rot gets into everything, and it's like you can try and salvage as much as you want. You're better off yoinking everything down.
But it doesn't just move randomly, but rather towards the cleaning crew. As if the clutter in this place wasn't already terrifying enough, this happens.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I don't think remote control would want to move like that.
Now obviously, they were freaked out by this, but after thinking that this may have been a battery-powered car, they look back at the footage to confirm this. However, while rewatching, they notice something pretty chilling. Watch closely.
Oh my
The note. Was it flipped over? Oh, she moved it.
As it seems, this toy is entirely made of plastic, no battery.
Which would also mean if there was a string or something, they would have noticed it because she moved it. Okay, it's a ghost. Burn it.
or
Burn the
motorized
house.
components appear to be seen here. If no power source had caused its movement, then what did? But the bigger question is, how exactly did it suddenly shift towards the group's direction? It's as though it just knew where they were. To Katie, this occurrence would stay a mystery, as she wouldn't be returning to this house for various reasons.
Well, yeah.
But then a few days later, the owner reaches out again.
We told her that we would be willing to come back, but only under 3 conditions. The first being that we needed to come. Second, that the Thomas the Tank Engine toy would absolutely not be in the house. That she agreed to all of our conditions, and so we returned to the job.
On the second day back, this happened.
Come here.
It's outside.
Come here. Come see.
Dude, why is it moving?
Get out.
I don't like that.
We have to burn that thing. And then that is so scary. Crazy.
Once again, the toy car somehow begins to move by itself, only this time it's in the backyard. Although pretty strange, there's something else that Katie recorded on her second day at this place,
No,
and it's
'cause she
something that's
saw
left her
it.
even more spooked. As she states, she was recording the mantle area because of something she saw in the photos that were sent by the owner. Take a look.
Like in the pictures she originally sent us when we were doing the first estimate, there was a picture of a photo album. And in the album, there's a picture of a child. I'm obviously going to post the pictures above, the face blurred, of course, but you can see the kid on it.
Look carefully when I take the video of the mantle. There
Is it
are
the Thomas
these
the
blue
Tank
bowls
Engine?
stacked up, and in those
Oh.
bowls are some Polaroid pictures. And if you look really closely, you can see that in the pictures is the Thomas train that we keep seeing move. And on this Thomas train is a boy. He looks to be like around 9 or
boy.
so. And I don't know anything about
Yeah,
him.
there's
I don't
storage,
know
but
who
there's
he is.
no
The
way
owner
for
didn't
it to
tell us
move
anything
like
about
that.
him.
As Katie believes, this toy had most likely belonged to the boy in this photo, and her suspicion is that the boy had passed away, given all the strange activity that's happened with this toy. Now, of course, this is just a theory she has. There doesn't seem to be any evidence to prove that whoever this was had passed away and therefore been responsible for the toy's movement. But one night, a phone call regarding this whole situation had made her stomach drop. Listen.
Hello.
Hi, this is Katie.
You know, your phone is cutting up a little bit the whole time we were talking. I'm wondering too, because that was his train. And
This could be a random woman.
yes, and so when you told me that, and then I saw what you were talking about, I don't know what to think. I mean, I don't know how to take it,
But you do feel like that it's your nephew moving the train?
well, anything can happen. I don't know what to say. I mean, okay, have a good night.
Thanks, you too, Sounder.
Okay, have a good night. Bye. I just told you ghosts might be real. Bye.
Wow.
As it turns out, the homeowner's nephew had passed away. It's unknown as to how he passed, but considering that this was the house that he lived in before his aunt took over the property, it's no surprise to see his stuff still lying around. And to make this even more strange, the owner had sent Katie a video of something she recorded a few weeks back after taking over the place.
Oh, is that toy battery powdered too? Kids just want to
A
play.
mini door on this playset can be seen opening on its own before somehow shutting by itself. Seeing this video and all the other activity that happened before, could it be that the owner's nephew had actually been present
Checkmate,
at this
ho.
place? After all, most of the activity revolves around toys. But as always, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. For now, as it seems, this video remains a mystery.
remains a mystery.
On May 20th of 2026, a man is looking after his sick mother through a baby monitor when he sees her staring at something that appears to be on the ceiling.
Fuck that. Respectfully, absolutely go fuck. Nope, sorry, Mom. Sorry, you're done. You're done. You're moving out. I don't like that. Nope.
What's that noise?
Nope. Sorry, we're looking at homes tomorrow.
There doesn't appear to be anything noticeable in this room, yet strangely, Raymond's mother continues to stare at the ceiling as though something were there. Now this detail is important because for the past few weeks, Raymond has been recording his mom reaching up towards something above her bed.
Yeah, she's doing it again.
Whether coming from the ceiling or somewhere else, he's already checked the space multiple times and always finds nothing. But one day, while recording his mom doing her usual reach, he gets this.
I don't understand.
How about we try, hey, Mom, what are you reaching for? What do you see? Can I touch it too? Can you tell me what it is? Okay. See? Oh, you want it gone? Here you go. All gone. All gone. Like, sometimes you gotta talk to them. Lisa never did that during hospice, I will say. She never did the ceiling thing. She had the bounce back. So, like, she was basically in a coma for, like, 4 or 5 days, and had the rattle, and was, like, gagging a lot, so we had to get the suction machine. Then she bounced back and was awake. She wanted to eat. She wanted Topo Chico. She specifically asked for Topo Chico. She said hi to me, said hi to Grant. We talked, you know. Got Rosie on the bed. And then by the next morning, she was, like, gone.
Oh!
The fuck?
As Raymond films his mom reaching up again, he gets this.
She's
the
like, "Let
nurse's
me-"
hair getting whipped upwards.
The fuck?
Looking back at this clip, she neither turns her head nor jolts in any way to cause her hair to jump. It just goes up on its own before she even moves.
I'm out of ideas.
Just how exactly did Nurse Judy's hair fly up
Have we tried talking to Mom?
without there being a visible cause? According to her, it felt as though someone had grabbed her hair. Now
Don't
there's
like
something
that.
worth noting about this specific statement, and it's the fact that it says pulled up. As Raymond believes, if something had yanked her hair upwards, then it had to be something from above. And if that's so,
Or tall.
then maybe Mom isn't just seeing things after all. While there's nothing visible to support this claim, there is something on this bed that might.
This is the phone that my mom used.
One night, during one of her episodes of Reaching Upwards, she takes out her phone and records the ceiling.
Mood.
Take a look.
Vlogging diva. It's wind.
Neither Raymond nor his mother's nurses could explain what was caught here. Thinking that something would appear on the ceiling, he sees this instead. Under his mother's blanket, a strange bump shows up. Whatever this is wasn't there initially, as footage from early on shows the bed being completely flat. It's nowhere to be found, much like the noises that are heard in this video. Between hearing this and seeing the lump, Raymond now thinks that it's not just the ceiling anymore, but rather the entire room that's active.
I mean,
The noise is less
nothing.
weird. Because I think so sometimes this surprises me too when my nose is stuffed up. When I'm breathing out, it can sound like a whistle, but to my ears, it sounds like it's behind me, you know, because it's inside my head. So she could be breathing out and then mumbling as we heard. We heard her gasp or whatever, or like groan. But the whistling could literally be from her own sinuses, especially if she has the tubes in. So it sounds really weird and mysterious, but it really is like extremely normal.
Nothing here. You would think this is where you'd see something. You know? Underneath the bed is just supplies.
Now, after checking all around and posting this video, someone suggested that he cut open the mattress to see if there was something inside that made the bulge. To Raymond, this didn't seem like a good idea. He wasn't going to ruin his mom's mattress just to find nothing inside. But eventually,
Especially
after getting her a new
guys,
one because of the
mattresses, the bed, and hospice. So hospice insurance pays for the bed and the meds. That's what it pays for. Care, things like that, that's usually an out-of-pocket expense. So the bed is basically on loan. They will come and get it later. So, because this is, you can see the bars, this is a special hospice bed. It's not her normal bed. So cutting open the mattress is not a good idea.
this video, and seeing that it's already falling apart from its underside, he figured, why not give it a try now?
Dude.
It goes without saying, but what he finds terrified him.
Alright, so this is the bed. We're gonna take a look in. The new mattresses just came in.
Okay. Like she.
There's gotta be nothing.
What? That's just great. Cut the whole thing.
This is an old mattress. Mattresses are gross, guys.
Thank you. To the person who suggested this, thank you. Jesus Christ, man.
No signs of any lumps were found inside, but something just as horrifying was discovered. What was thought to be a new bed was actually just a used mattress that was covered up and made to look new.
Because it's a hospital bed on loan.
Raymond had no idea that he bought a mattress that was technically refurbished. There were no labels or any zippers to indicate this was a cover when he bought this a year ago. While it's rare, there have been documented cases of people opening up their beds and finding a
It's also the mattress of an elderly woman in hospice care. I don't know if you guys know this, but incontinence is very normal when you're at this stage of life. So yes, this could be a newer mattress. It also could be sped run to this level of decay if she's been using it, you know? Even if you clean the top layer, you're often only cleaning the top layer, it still soaks in.
secondhand mattress inside. Upon discovering this, Raymond throws out the mattress and reports that since then, there hasn't been much activity in his mother's room. But then 2 nights later, this happens.
Why?
Here's the mattress I took out of my mom's room. This is the mattress that I cut up the other day. It's out on the curb, getting ready to be picked up. Now, this is the mattress that I thought was the source of everything. The knocking. Well, tell me why. Tell me why I still hear the knocking.
That's the volume. Is that not a pipe? That's a pipe.
Thinking that the bed had been the culprit this whole time, he was ticked off to see that it was still happening. But by far, the creepiest thing that's happened since throwing out the mattress is this last video. While looking at the monitor, both Raymond and his mother's nurse noticed this.
The mound.
Oh my god, I see it.
Nah, fuck that, actually. I don't like that. Get away from Ma. I don't like that.
Oh, go.
Nah. I don't like that. She's trying to sleep and they're like
After checking all around, they find nothing. So then, the question is begged, just what is going on inside his mother's room? If the activity still continues, even with the mattress gone, then what can explain this? There have yet to be more updates coming up from Raymond, but in the meantime, let me know your thoughts on this one. Now this next video takes place at a subway station, where apparently something appears inside a tunnel when it gets completely dark.
It's a bar,
it's the reason why many commuters who know about this passage take out their phones and begin to record.
Singing is crazy. That's cool. I want to go to there.
Now the train speed makes it hard to see, but if you slow the footage, you'll see what appears to be another station that's entirely empty and outdated. Trains always pass it, but they never stop here. And maybe that's a good thing, because in a recent video shared by someone who wanted to film this secret station, something was caught on camera that's left many commuters terrified. The Chamberí station in Madrid, Spain is a train station that's been out of service for quite some time. It was shut down in 1966, but trains still pass it as it sits in between two stations that are still operating. However, every so often, people sneak inside and explore the place, only to be left feeling unsettled. On May 30th of 2026, a passenger on the subway line was getting ready to record the Chamberí station when they caught this instead.
The white things? Is that it?
As it seems, the Chamberí station might not be abandoned after all. As the speeding train passes by an entrance, there appears to be a girl dressed in a white gown who seems
Me when I want to fuck with people, because I think you could still get to it. I think they've done tours and stuff. I think it's still, that's just a person.
to be watching everyone on board.
I just be
Mind
doing
you,
that
this
shit.
part of the station is off limits to the public, so whoever this was shouldn't even be there.
Okay, well,
But
she
maybe,
wanted to go
as some
for
believe,
a
this wasn't a
jaunt.
person. As local
Like
legend
me.
has it, before closing down, the Chamberí station had a passenger who lost their life on these tracks. That passenger happened to be a girl who fell off a train. Now, while the story can't be verified,
Break in there and
viewers no
film,
doubt
yeah.
believe that what was caught here had to be the girl who passed away. Though, unfortunately, no further updates or videos have been posted by the user who shared this. Just who or what had been inside this
They're
abandoned
probably on just
station.
vacation, no? Or traveling for funsies. This is something I would do. I want to ride past the haunted station.
Now the following video comes from a mother who just had a newborn baby when one night at around 3:40 in the morning, her cameras record something that leaves her too scared to leave the room.
Oh, okay. Are we going to witness postpartum psychosis? Where's the
According
baby?
to Daisy Andrade, out of all the strange things that have happened at home, this one may just be the most terrifying. And it doesn't help that what she captured might have some connection to what others have caught on camera while visiting the island where she lives.
Growing up in Hawaii, there's a lot of ancient Hawaiian stories or traditions, or I would call superstitions. It's probably just ancient Hawaiian spirits trying to get my attention.
So take note of this stick here, right?
Okay.
So there's nothing to its left, but at the same time, I look at this other one. I zoom in.
That's just a human.
But I zoom into that. But
wow.
this is like a hole.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Girl.
Seeing this only makes Daisy's video that much more unsettling. As she writes, I always pray with my boys before bed, and coincidentally, we forgot to say our nightly prayer this night. Whatever was here will not be welcomed here again. This is what she caught.
Baby. And the man's asleep. Useless. Not defending the family from the ghosts.
Yeah.
That could be anything. That could be sleep talking. That's a big possibility.
After encountering whatever it was that sounded just like their child, Daisy and her husband concluded that this whole incident had to be something paranormal. Either someone or something that couldn't be seen was calling out to Daisy. But according to her, she swore it sounded just like her son, who during this whole time was fast asleep. If neither of her older children were awake, then who was calling out to mom?
Yeah.
As Daisy states, living in Hawaii has made her experience countless unexplainable things. This one is just one of many, but she can't deny that this incident...
Yeah, I know they have, you know, their own, gods and goddesses, yes. But do they have a big spiritual, like the afterlife? I mean, I would assume yes. Like certain cultures obviously have many talks of ghosts and spirits and such. I'm just not familiar much with Hawaii's in particular. Maybe it's a cat outside? Maybe.
Has been the most unsettling encounter to date. Whether it's the ghost that many tourists see on this island or something else entirely. Simply not knowing what spoke that night is creepy enough to Daisy and her family.
I thought she was going to see something, but she didn't.
If you caught something creepy on camera, or if there's...
Are we over the video already? Okay, damn. Oh no, it's not.
Any ghost videos you'd like me to check out and include in the next compilation, you can send them over to scaryvideos444@gmail.com. That being said, let's get back to the video.
That being said, let's get back to the video.
Now on September 10th of 2025, a CCTV camera in the corner of a highway interchange recorded something that many pedestrians had witnessed but couldn't make sense of. They were frightened by what emerged from this highway. At around 2:20 p.m., pedestrians on the Concordia Bridge Highway in Mexico City were suddenly surrounded by a strange fog that seemingly came out of nowhere. They weren't sure where the fog had come from or why many people were running away from it. But when news broke that a gas tanker had tipped over on a curving ramp, causing a massive cloud of gas, things made sense now.
Yeah, that's what we call
Except for one thing. While researching this incident, I found a surprising number of comments from people claiming to have seen silhouettes or shadowy figures flying through the smoke. Although the fog was no longer a mystery, people still couldn't explain the strange faces and eerie shadows they saw in the mist.
Me when I'm online and want to say shit.
Now, although none of these videos seem to show any of the so-called flying silhouettes people saw, one video captures something that's just as unsettling. On May 25th of 2026, almost a year later, a motorcyclist travels down the same highway where the gas leak happened. remind you that the reason this bridge looks darker than usual is because shortly after the gas leak, a spark had lit up the whole place. This is what was caught.
Okay. Oh, please. Don't try that with me.
The motorcyclist who posted this wasn't sure if he was just hearing things, but after watching the footage from his dashcam, it's clear that an agonizing scream was heard nearby. Now, while the source isn't obvious, something else is. It wasn't until many people started screenshotting a certain moment in this clip and putting it in the comments that the footage became even more unsettling. At around the following timestamp, this was captured. Watch closely.
The way that's a plant. The way that's nothing.
An outline of a misty figure can be seen standing to the right. It isn't exactly a perfect silhouette, but something noticeable appears right behind the concrete barrier. And it's the fact that a scream is immediately followed afterwards that viewers couldn't help but theorize what this was. Maybe, as some believe, this figure had been the spirit of someone who lost their life during the sudden gas fire. To those who were there when it happened, this belief isn't far-fetched. They, and most others who visit the place now, often feel a sense of dread and unease. They don't exactly know why that is, but feel that it might be due to the residual energy left behind by those who unfortunately met their end. But of course, what do you think? Could this have been someone who passed away from the fire of 2025? Or was something else caught on camera? As with most videos, this one remains a mystery.
Caught a lot of people. God, that's awful.
Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and make sure.
No. Ooh, Chinese mafia. Back to crime.
I truly have never seen anything
Okay.
like a gang funeral in Taiwan.
Oh yeah, here's the
These
Taiwan.
are the real triads. And going down this rabbit hole, I've actually seen a lot of funerals like this in Taiwan, so is this just something people with money do in general? This was the funeral of Brother Leopard, leader of the Songlian gang, which is one of the 4 major triads in Taiwan. And this is the funeral for a member of the Bamboo Union, which is the largest of the 4 major triads. And these guys are really flashy, because this is just what happens when you die. When they're alive, oh man, they rented out the 5-star Marriott in Taipei, $150,000. They brought out over 100 women to greet the arriving triads, and this was just for a spring dinner. But they started throwing so many.
Yeah, see, what level of crime do you have to, is this the level of crime you have to reach to as a society that you literally just become another pillar of the community? Like, it's basically like a factory when you think about it. Like, you know, like when in a town, when a factory closes down and like it destroys the economy and the town falls apart. Like, if this crime syndicate fell apart, would it destroy the economy of Taipei? You know what I'm saying?
Many parties, in fact, that actually pissed off the police, with even the police making it clear that, and this is not me, this is a direct quote from an officer in Taipei. So the problem is not even the fact that the gang exists, it's the fact that they made the police look like idiots. So they started raiding all the clubs and hotels that the Bamboo Union was throwing parties at, and essentially they only got arrested for embarrassing the police. Understandable, I guess. These guys were tied to 76 kidnappings. And then I found the video of heavily armed police waiting outside the main office of a political party in Taiwan. But they're waiting here because a gang meeting is about to take place. So like, are you guys providing security for this event? This was in May 2025, and apparently the leader of the Bamboo Union had just died. And the police were expecting the senior gang members to come and elect the new boss. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, this is a setup. Right? They're gonna arrest these guys as soon as they get there, but no, they just let them in, they ate, had a good time, and again, the police seemingly provided security for this event. The news caught up with a senior member leaving, and they asked him.
Not the same thing, but also kind of feels like the same thing. It's like when a totally not Klan meeting gets a police permit in the United States to do a rally, you know? Totally not the Klan. Totally different, you know. It kind of feels like that. Like, why are you protecting these people?
Hey, did you guys just pick a new gang leader? And he said, no,
Scram, let me know.
I
Got
don't
you.
even know what you're talking about. He did know what they were talking about, and not only does he also have a cool name, the White Wolf, but he used to be a leader of the Bamboo Union Triads, and he was 100% in here on gang business. Also, remember when I said this meeting was at the headquarters of a political party? Well, that party is called the Chinese Unification Party. The Chinese Unification Party. Which, if you know anything about China and Taiwan, then this is very interesting because the entire reason for Taiwan's existence is the fact that it doesn't want to unify with China unless it can be in charge, of course. So as you can imagine, many believe that the Beijing government supports this group despite knowing about its criminal ties. But this all started when I saw a double shooting in the Taipei City News. And it happened outside of the Tianlong Spa, which people have alleged to be a known brothel, but it's kind of unclear. From the reviews,
Sorry, that photo took me out. Sorry.
though, it is clear that adult entertainment gets played on a projector for some reason, and the translation on
For
their
some
article is
reason.
very
Not
rough,
sure.
but it says that the men shot outside of the spa were Wu Mingda and one of his associates. And Wu is apparently a known gangster, part of the Weizhen group or Weichen, and he and his associate both survived with minor injuries, and the shooter turned himself in. And the news also implies that the shooter's job was just to wound the gang leader and not kill him because it was supposed to be a warning, since he had 15 bullets and only fired 4. But once again, a very questionable response from the police.
You don't need 15 bullets if the 4 does the trick. He had 15, he only used 4 of them. Therefore, he wasn't intending to kill him. You don't need 15. What are we talking about?
Police in Taipei announced that in response to this bold gangland shooting, literally in the middle of the city.
Dude, this page is called Trap University. You think he's worried about getting shit right?
They said, we'll look into it for the next week and a half, but that's about it. Why is there a time
Why
limit
use
on
many
this?
bullets
Why is the
if you do
time limit so
trick?
short? Some would argue this kind of makes the police seem like they either don't care
You
or are
think this
very,
dude
very
cares
corrupt.
about
And yeah,
pronunciation?
Taiwan is definitely not a place you can describe as dangerous, but like anywhere, once you affiliate with crime syndicates, you are 100% more likely to become the target of the little gun violence that does exist. And apparently for a place with very strict firearm regulations, here's a guy letting off 50 shots into a storefront. Here's what looks like.
Okay, those are not 50 shots. That's machine gun artillery. That's not 50 shots. That's okay. Those are 2 different things. Let's get it. No, absolutely not. We're not gonna pretend that's the same thing. 50 shot. No. That's a machine gun. What?
It's like a kid shooting into a temple. And this is apparently a tactic of many gangsters in Taiwan because I learned about it through a man called Duckhead, who was a gang member known for being ruthless, as he was accused of letting off 20 shots into a house and a pawn shop owned by his rivals in 2022. And the man's house he shot up, Lin, also known as Lemon, responded by ramming his car into Duck's house. But Duck was eventually gunned down in 2024 in Kaohsiung City by a man known as Fatty. But
If I get taken out by a man who goes by the name Duck, I want you guys to like have a shame funeral for me. Thank you.
very strange that a known ruthless gang member has a wife who is a politician. And yes, he also had a real Taiwan gangster funeral, McLarens, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, and once again, the Taiwan police appearing to act as security. And I shouldn't be surprised because the officer earlier in the video did also say that there was a mutual respect between the gangs and the law. But this and his marriage also raises more questions about the ties between the government and the triads, both the Taiwanese government and the CCP in the mainland. Now, I've heard people say that most triads are from Taiwan instead of mainland China, but the largest group of triads in Taiwan is mostly made up of Taiwan Xinyan, which is a very rough translation of mainlanders in Taiwan, or Taiwan aliens, but it also sometimes translates as Dalu Ren Zai Taiwan. Wow, can't wait for the people who actually speak Mandarin to hear that, but this is a term used to describe migrants that came from the mainland at the end of the Chinese Civil War and their descendants. And the Bamboo Union was actually founded by a guy from the mainland, so I guess it kind of makes sense why the CCP is alleged to be in collusion with the Bamboo Union to promote unification with the CCP. But jokes aside about the police, Taiwan usually ranks as one of the top 50 most transparent countries, signaling that it's not that corrupt, although recently there have been a few corruption scandals in government. But regardless, when things happen involving one of these groups, it's often done in a way that shows little regard for the law, like when members of the Songlian gang beat a guy at the entrance of a Taiwan police station. But interestingly, despite the Bamboo Union being well known, it seems like the more information I read about them, the more questions.
God, if I was a cop and they did that, I'd be like, what the fuck? No, I have no choice but to beat the shit out of you. Like, you might kill me, I'm dead, but like, now you're playing in my face, you know?
Questions I have. They've been known to be loan sharks involved in drug and human smuggling, as well as in the past, contract killing. But where's the money coming from? Yeah, they could possibly be tied to the drug trafficking in the Golden Triangle, but it still doesn't answer any of my questions. These are guys that pop out in over $5 million worth of foreign cars and show off their wealth like a drug cartel in Mexico. But the difference is the police in Mexico at least say they're trying to arrest these guys, while in Taiwan, the triads make news appearances, the police guard their dinners and funerals, and the government in Taiwan even accuses mainland China of sponsoring organized crime by using triads to support unification, while also allowing a former triad leader to operate a legit political party that's pro-unification. But yeah, democracy. I guess it will be kind of undemocratic to not allow him to have a party just because he's a pro-Beijing triad, but the criminal activity out in the open sounds like a movie sometimes. I mean, in 2018, the White Wolf sent one of his sons, Zhang Wei, to lead a diplomatic meeting with the Kyokurukai Yakuza in Japan, where they exchanged intelligence, with the Japanese media believing that this close relationship between the Bamboo Union and the Okinawa branch of the Yakuza is part of an attempt by the CCP to extend its influence in the area, which, in case you didn't know, Okinawa is part of the Ryukyu Islands, which had a small independence movement, but for the most part, everyone in these islands wants to remain part of Japan. But if the CCP wants to use this group for intel and political influence, I wondered, what political influence does the Bamboo Union have? Yes, they've been tied to the Unification Party, but that party doesn't hold any seats in government. But the answer to that question is strangely when a murder for hire comes into play. You see, in the 1980s, the founder of the Bamboo Union Triads flew to California to kill a man named Henry Liu. Henry was a journalist that immigrated to the United States and started criticizing the ruling party of Taiwan. And when the killer flew back to Taiwan, the United States implicated him in the murder and he was arrested. But when the US requested that he be extradited to face charges in the US, Taiwan said no, and 6 years later, he was released from prison. But where this connects to the Taiwan government is when Vice Admiral Wang Xiling was accused of being the one who ordered the hit, which is not all that surprising when you realize that he was also the head of the Intelligence Bureau, or essentially the CIA of Taiwan, and even though he was sentenced to life in prison in Taiwan for his role in the crime, he was also released 6 years later after receiving special treatment in prison, since apparently his cell had a kitchen and a private room, and it was big enough for his family to come and live with him during his sentence. And yes, he was granted clemency by the president. So here we have the government of Taiwan, seemingly not wanting to punish a high-ranking official or his paid triad hitman. But since this was a plot against a dissident of the ruling party, it's possible that this happened before the CCP was fully supporting the group. But this actually makes the government look even more suspicious, since the triads still appear to be able to do whatever they want no matter which party they support. But it doesn't stop here. Have you ever heard of a gang-affiliated temple? Because according to the Global Taiwan Institute, the Jinlang Temple in the Daxia district of Taichung City, which organizes the largest religious event in Taiwan.
Can I speak my truth, chat? Can I speak my truth? Can I speak my truth? It's kind of cunt. That's gang-affiliated temple? That's like old school Catholic mafia. Like that's... That's like we're doing meetings in the pews of Sunday service. Like that's, ooh, I kind of like it. That's cunt. I'm sorry. That's hilarious. That's incredible.
Taiwan, a pilgrimage for the goddess Mother.
TJ, we're talking about crime. We are not condoning. We are simply discussing. Also, I'm probably gonna wrap up soon because I'm almost at 4 hours and I do need to walk Hermes.
Zhu is chaired by Yinqing Piao, who, despite being a gang member, was also a member of government for 10 years. And Yin is still the chairman of this temple, with Taiwan's president still...
We have criminals in positions of power here in the United States, too. Convicted criminals of things. Not suspected, convicted. And that's like, really the land of opportunity, United States. We really, doesn't matter if you've, raped people. Like you can still be president of the United States. It's really cool.
Still making appearances there, despite the fact that Yin was found guilty of spending government funds at hostess bars, which is essentially a strip club with no poles. But the dynamic of gangs, temples, and politics is just a byproduct of the less than democratic side effects of how Taiwan is run. This is not traditional organized crime that people are used to in the West. Much like the Yakuza in Japan, it's a mix of gangsters involved in politics and legitimate business. But unlike the Yakuza, these groups have much more freedom, as constant crackdowns and law changes in Japan make it harder for the Yakuza to operate.
This is fascinating.
And yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this Asia series. I'm glad you guys enjoy it.
This is fascinating. Would be a 12-hour story max in 2026 is crazy. It took down a presidency. Yeah. All right, let's close this out. We're done today. Who can we raid? Who can we raid? Who can we raid? Back to Twitch. I'm sleepy. We can do Nandre. Raiding. Raid. Have fun, make good choices. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back on regular scheduled programming because I'm done with Anime Expo and I'm home all week. So I'm home for like a week and a half. So be back on our regularly scheduled programming. I'm gonna go walk a goblin, drink some water, pass out, the good stuff. He's playing Mahjong. Fun. Okay, bye. Bye.